dynamic community that looks better, looks more welcoming, more vibrant, and then you add things to do. You think about all of the things that we have now for kids to do that we didn't have before.
Yeah.
Dave and Buster's, to name a few, one that my children love. Game time, and you know, we have some golfing venues that are set to come to Daytona Beach. So it's that part I love talking about, and I could go on and on. But quality of life, I think, has been enhanced in our infrastructure.
Absolutely. And you're right, the parks are really, they've come to life in many cases. Joe Harris Park, Collins Park, so many great things going on in the city right now. Recently, the City Commission had a strategic planning session. And can you share with us some of the goals that came out of that planning session?
Yeah, and these have been sort of ongoing, but each year you want to sort of like renew your nuptials or your vows or your commitments, things that are important to you as a commission, and therefore city staff and city manager are asked to push these things forward. Number one, and it's been the case for a while, has been affordable housing.
on, right? Okay.
They weren't quivering with fear.
Really? My voice is so boomy. You here? Well, we might as well start then. Alrighty. Good morning and welcome to the July 11th, 2024 meeting of the Code Enforcement Board. Meeting will now come to order. May we have a roll call vote, Madam Secretary?
Mr. Gonzalez.
Present.
Mr. Mahegan.
Here.
Ms. Marsh.
Here.
Ms. Roby.
Here.
Mr. Harrington.
Here.
Mrs. Himes. Mrs. Kindig.
Here. Okay, we need a motion to excuse Mrs. Himes.
So moved. Second.
Motion by Mr. Harrington, second by Mr. Gonzalez. All in favor say aye. Like sign opposed. Has everyone had a chance to read the minutes?
Ma'am.
Okay, on page 3, these are little things that I noticed. Are there any additions or corrections? I have just a couple. On page 3, case number 1, it should be acquiring.
Where's that?
Page 3, instead of inquiring.
Where?
Oh, I'm
Page 3, case 1.
Case 1.
Okay. Down in the comment section, Mr. Robinson, he took in inquiring the property. It should be acquiring the property. Page 13. Let me see. Page 13, let me see. Case 28. I think I just had a question about that. Was anyone present? It didn't say they were signed in or, now here's case, what number did I say?
20.
Case 28. Was anyone present? No, that's,
That's here.
no,
Can't remember.
okay,
I have it in my notes too.
okay. And just the spelling of my name on page 1, it's K-U-E-N. Other than that,
Pick.
anybody else?
Pick.
I know, pick. All right, motion to approve minutes as amended.
So moved.
Second.
Motion, Ms. Ruby, second, Ms. Marsh, all in favor say aye. Like sign opposed, motion carries. Okay. Anybody need to disclose any ex parte communication? Right. Do we have any announcements, Madam Secretary?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
Page 2. Lien review number 1 will be via Zoom.
Okay.
Sorry. All right, page 4.
Yeah.
Case number 6
Yeah.
via Zoom. Page 6. Case number 15. CEB 0524 77 413 Pleasant Street. Compliance, July 1st, 2024.
Okay.
Page 7, case number 18, via Zoom. Page 8, case number 24, via Zoom.
Case number 24.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Agreed.
Page 10, case number 32, CEB 0724 125, 879 Magnolia Avenue is in compliance, July 10th, 2024. Page 13. Case 43, CEB 0724, 116, 710 Edward Street is in compliance, July 9th, 2024. Page 14, case 46, CEB 0724, 119, 819 Lenore Street is in compliance, July 9th, 2024. Those are my announcements.
Right. Now, we have Anita Pologa here that would like to make an announcement. Come on up. Good morning.
Good morning, everyone. Anita Pologa with the City Clerk's Office. I wanted to briefly introduce myself and let you know that I'm working on a board member recruitment campaign to help fill all the vacancies that we have and hopefully get citizens excited again about joining the board. I know that there are 2 terms coming up that are expiring at the end of August for your board specifically. So you will get
Can
a
you
flyer.
tell us who, you know who they are offhand?
Just one moment here. I do. That will be Vice Chair Himes
Okay.
and Ms. Marsh.
Okay.
Okay? All right. So you'll be receiving a flyer that I have here with other board opportunities. And if anyone has any questions, my contact information is on here. There's a QR code for everyone. They can scan and fill out an application, and then we'll go through the proper channels. All right. Any questions?
See anything about raising the pay?
I know. I'll put a note aside to the city clerk and let her know. Okay. Any questions? I will leave some flyers right here for citizens as well if they're interested. And you can also find it on our city website at codb.us. Okay?
Thank you for
Great.
coming.
Thank you so much.
Miss, I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Do you think this requirement that people live in a zone for a general board, like this history board, or
So
serves any real purpose?
that question has been raised at a couple other meetings, and I'm going to bring that back to the city clerk and with legal and with the commission as well as to somewhat broaden the eligibility requirements because they are very specific for certain boards.
They are,
and
I
it's
think some of them are in the charter.
sure, right, absolutely. So that is definitely and that's why I'm starting part of this campaign and reaching out to all the boards that we have with the city and bringing all your concerns and hopefully address those and maybe we can broaden the
Thank
the
you.
eligibility. Thank you.
What?
The code board's not on this one.
Well, 'cause we're filled.
Oh, are we?
Yeah, we have 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're good for life.
Seems that way, doesn't it?
All right. Would the code officers, I'm going to explain some procedures now. Would the code officers please stand up and be sworn in?
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you.
Okay, everybody, here's our procedure. We'll be calling cases by number, and for the most part in order as they're listed on the agenda. If there are any attorneys present that need to be in court, we'll hear those cases first. If there are police officers who must get back to their duty assignments, we'll hear those cases too. When your case is called, please come forward and be sworn in. State your name and address for the record. If you're not the owner of the property, please state your relationship to the owner and tell us whether you have permission to speak. Our proceedings are recorded, so please speak into the mic. The board hears from code officers first, and then you will be given the opportunity to respond and direct your responses, please, to the board. Witnesses sometimes testify using the same procedures. If we don't get finished by 11, we may go over it. We can take a short break. Let's see, so we are going to have one out of order. Someone has one of the code officers has a doctor's appointment. Is that case 18? CEB 07-24-122 at Clark Street? That's the one, right? Okay,
We're gonna hear that now?
we're gonna hear that right now. And then we'll go back to the lien review. It'll only take us, it shouldn't take too long for this case. Get it done. Oh, is this a Zoom?
Yes.
All right, so we'll hear the lien review first,
First.
and then, do they know that they're gonna be up?
They do.
Okay.
They do.
All right. They're there?
No, they're not. I don't have,
Okay, well, let's get them all. We'll do the lien review then.
one moment. That would also, Zoom as well. Let me get them ready for it.
The Zoom is also a lien review?
Yes.
I mean, a lien review, okay. Well, we're not getting anywhere fast.
Yeah, you are, Your Honor.
Who do we have? Good morning.
Yeah, this one.
Is this the lien review?
It is.
Yes, good. Okay, good morning. Please state your name and address for the record and be sworn in. Sir, can you hear us?
Brandon, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, please state your name and address for the record and be sworn in, sir.
Brandon Garcia, 1815 North Oleander, Daytona Beach, 32118.
Okay.
Will you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, who's the other person?
What?
The other person?
The same person, right?
No, it
No,
isn't.
it's different.
Who else is there?
You can't see them over there on the top left?
Yeah, yeah. Who else?
That's for the.
Is that for the other case?
Yeah.
I'm not sure which case that individual's on. They told me that they believe they were on for the review one. Some verbal correspondence from that person.
All right, we're just gonna.
Are you referring to me?
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm here for Clark Street.
What case is that?
That would be the case 18.
Oh, okay. Wait, we'll get to you in a second, okay?
No problem.
Okay.
I apologize.
Okay, all right. All right. So, Mr. Jones, what's going on with the lien review here?
Typically, we ask for their request to be from the respondent first.
Oh, that's true. All right, go ahead, sir. Tell us what your hardship is.
Yeah, so I actually provided a timeline of the events of everything that happened. Basically, I'll just give you the short version. I hired a contractor to do, well, first, this home has been on my street. If you can see, it was totally in disrepair. It came for sale. It was a nuisance to the neighborhood, so I decided to take out a second mortgage on my home, purchase this home, fix it up, and try to make some money in the process. I hired a contractor, started to do the work, and my mom has ALS diagnosed. She was deteriorating very badly, so I had to go back up to Georgia to take care of her. I was not watching the contractors as I should have been. I was just taking their word for it that they're pulling the permits and doing the work as they should have been. I was even charged $1,500 for permits that were even never pulled. Apparently, there was a stop work order posted at the house, and I discovered this quite some time afterwards. The contractor never told me about that because he wanted to get the rest of the payment, paid to him that I owed him, so we could just move on. Once I found out about all this, I fired him immediately. Of course, I had already paid him the balance owed, and he totally went ghost on me and never came back at all. And then after that, I hired Atlantic Breeze Construction, and then I had the hearing before the board. I was found in non-compliance because the permits were not finalized yet. The city came back to me and said that I needed to do a third-party engineered inspection report as well as engineered drawings. Those take quite some time. I was told they were going to take 10 to 12 weeks, and I even paid extra to have them expedited because at that point I was found in non-compliance and I was being fined $250 every single day, and I was doing everything I possibly could to make it go faster. But unfortunately, I was at the mercy of the engineered inspection and engineered reports. And that brings me to today where I have a $15,000 fine on the home. And I was not, I mean, this is just going to be totally financially devastating to me and my family. Not only am I in jeopardy of any fine on this home because we can't even sell it because the market is so bad right now. We've dropped the price almost $80,000 and it's still not selling. So not only am I in jeopardy of losing this home, I'm also in jeopardy of losing my home my whole family lives in. I know I should have been on top of this more. I was just dealing with my mother literally wasting away and having to care for her every need. She couldn't even breathe. Excuse me. She couldn't even breathe on her own. Her whole body was just wasting away, and that's what I was focused on. Also, we just had our third baby in September, so that was also, it was just a lot going on, and it was just a lot going on.
All right. So no one's living in that house now?
No, we've been
You're
trying
not
to sell it.
Where do you live?
I live down the street from the home.
Okay. Okay. All right, Mr. Jones, we'll hear from you now.
Yes, Mark Jones, Field Supervisor, City of Daytona Beach. My credentials are on file. This property was originally posted back in September 26th of 2023. You can see the damage or the mess the house was. Compliance was due October 26, 2023. A stop work order and a notice of working without permits was posted on the door January 20th, 2023. They continued to work without permits, and they completed the exterior remodel. They relocated a front door, relocated windows, did stucco work, all without a permit. When they applied for the permit, they had to get a special engineering department to do the approval since all the work had been completed prior to having permits. The after-the-fact permit was finally approved on April 18th, 2024, and the permit was finalized on May 1st, 2024. Staff is recommending no reduction due to them continuing to work without permits after notification.
Questions for anyone?
Yeah, I have a question.
Go ahead.
How was your communication?
Had no communications till they hired a new contractor who did contact me asking what was required, and went over a little bit of what work was done without a permit. That was the majority of my communications, and they then applied, for the after-the-fact permit.
Was that this year or last year?
That would have been this year.
This is a hardship thing. Is this up to code? Would you say this is first class, second class?
I'd say it's definitely up to code. As you can see, the exterior, this picture here that was taken when they were completed is a very nice looking building compared to what it looked like.
So he's upgraded that neighborhood, but in the process, he violated some city standards.
Yes,
Yeah,
he
he did.
violated a stop work order. The building
That's a
department
lot.
went out and looked at what was being done, and concurred that this was work that required a permit.
So,
Were these people hired in the city? I mean, did they live in the county, the city close by, the first contractors you got?
Yeah, they were actually highly recommended. They had lots of reviews. I did lots of research, and when I was up in Georgia taking care of my mother, I was not here making sure that they were doing everything that they were said they were doing. So I was very surprised when I found out that not only did they continue to work after a stop work order was posted, that they also never pulled the permits that they charged me for. I mean, I should have like asked them for copies of permits, and I should have been more involved. However, I was literally dealing with an entire situation with my mom. Literally,
We understand that. We're sorry for your problems.
I have two comments.
Go ahead.
One, you need to file a report with the city about that contractor so that it's on record that they are a problem contractor. Otherwise, these things will continue. And number two, I'm pleased with the outcome, regardless of the fact that they may have violated these things. I don't think it's worth $15,000 as a fine. We should have a fine, but 15,000 is pretty.
When was notification again, please?
They were first notified on September 26th, 2023. That is shortly after they purchased the property.
Okay.
Because we had an original code violation prior to that,
Right.
but had not gone to hearing.
When did you go to Georgia? Sir?
my mom diagnosed with ALS in July, and I was back and forth since then.
Okay.
And she
So,
has
July, you mean, okay, go ahead. And then when did it come into compliance?
It came into compliance on May 1st, 2024.
Okay.
But as soon as I found out about all this going on, I fired him right away. I hired a brand new contractor, and they started working with the city right away.
Okay.
The reason it took so long was the engineer inspection, engineer drawings. They take months to get finalized and approved because there's so many steps and processes I had to go through
Yeah.
to get it finalized and approved.
Right.
That's the only reason why we're now in July.
Do you have the copy of the bill for the permits from Roof Corp?
I do.
Can I ask you why you didn't submit them?
I have tons of invoices. I can definitely submit them if I need to. I have tons of invoices.
Madam Chair, if I may.
Go ahead.
Just a couple of questions. Just looking at the minutes, and it appears that each time you appeared as the personal representative. Were you the owner at the time?
It's
as the registered agent, I'm sorry. Were you the owner at the time?
I'm sorry, what's the question?
When you appeared in the proceeding via Zoom, I believe it was, you appeared as the registered agent for the company. Were you the owner, or were you just the registered agent?
I don't understand the difference.
Do you own Paragon?
Yeah, it's just me. Paragon is just me.
Okay, did you mention at all about the circumstance regarding your mom and all of that? I don't remember hearing that or seeing that in the minutes.
No, I did not bring that up because I didn't think that would be something you guys would want to hear. However, now that I'm facing, what I'm facing, I just decided to let everyone know like what the situation was. It's been very, very hard on me to have to go through all this on top of dealing with my mother. I mean, if I was down here and not dealing with my mom and helping her do every possible thing, I would have been a lot more involved because I'm only a few houses down from this house.
Okay.
But because I'm not here seeing everything, that's where the problem was. And this contractor took advantage of my situation.
Thank you. You told us all of that. Appreciate it, though.
All right, thank
But one more question. The inspector indicated that he didn't hear from you. He had no response, no contact. Why weren't you contacting the inspector to let him know what's happening?
I had never heard anything from him until January. I believe it was like December 25th is when I received my first communication with him. And I included that on the timeline as well, was via email. And that was the first time I had ever even heard anything from him. And we corresponded through email. And that's when I remember because it was like a few days right after and I was up in Georgia with my mom. And that's the first time I had ever heard about this. And as soon as I heard about it, I started calling Roof Corp to see what in the world was going on. By this time, I had already paid him the remaining balance because he was done. And he basically just kept pushing me off, saying, no, they're incorrect. And I'm like, no, they're not. And now he just completely ignores me. I also talked to an attorney about all this, and he basically told me it would cost me more than what it was worth to try to go after him. So I just had to, and then on top of it all, I had this code compliance case bearing down on me. So I had to just get it corrected. So I hired a new contractor and went through this whole very long and intensive process of bringing the property back into compliance, which it is now.
Okay. All right, I think we've heard enough
Well, I have a
board
question.
discussion. All right.
Question. So you didn't communicate the hardship in the early stages, is that correct?
I did not correct. When I had my first non-compliance hearing, I did not think that was relevant to my situation because I just kind of felt like it was my fault that I wasn't
Okay.
on top of it all.
But what, I heard you say that now that we got to this point, now you felt you needed to let us know about your hardship being your mother. So I don't get that.
Well, there was no hardship before, technically, because I wasn't being fined. It was just I was just found in non-compliance, and then this is my first hearing since I was found in non-compliance.
That's not true.
That can't be right. That's not the procedure. Go
Ma'am, if I could,
ahead.
I have a hard time with this one, okay? Certainly, I'm sure we all feel his pain, but there's probably people in here that are gonna get fined for something. And I just can't see walking away from that fine. I just can't see it. This doesn't make sense to me to do that.
Okay. Any other comments?
I just think, I mean, he's coming to compliance within the 6 months. you know,
Right.
Where most people, we're doing 2-3 years.
Right.
So I'd like to make a motion to, lower the fine to $5,000 plus the recording costs
Second.
Payable within 30 days?
within 30 days.
All right, we have a motion on the floor by Ms. Roby and a second, Mr. Harrington, to reduce the fine, reduce the lien to $5,000, payable within 30 days. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed.
Opposed?
Right.
All right, let's have a roll call.
Roll vote, please.
I think it was 2 people, but I.
Roll call vote.
Roll call.
Mr. Harrington,
Aye.
Ms. Roby,
Aye.
Ms. Marsh,
Aye.
Mr. Gonzalez,
Opposed?
Mr. Mohegan,
No?
and Ms. Kindig.
Aye.
4-2.
So it's 4-2, and so that passes. So we've reduced the fine to $5,000, Sarah, payable within 30 days to the city. You need to get in touch with them.
Is there any way I could have longer than 30 days to pay it, or?
You will have to get in touch with the city. We can't, we're not in charge of that.
Okay,
All right, thank you.
thank you.
All right, now, let's get on to, we're going to skip to case 18. Let's see what page that's on. Now, the other person resume, right? Case number 18, this is an old case. CEB 0,
Okay.
wait a minute,
This is a new case.
wait a minute, hold on. Oh, it's a new case, right?
Yes.
Okay, new case. Case number 18, CEB 07-24-122 on Clark Street. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
All right, where's the person on Zoom? Is he there? Hello?
Yeah, I'm here.
Well,
They got it.
there you go. Thank you. Okay, now we can see you. Would you state your name and address for the record and be sworn in, please?
Yeah, it's Remington Richer, 627 Clark Street, Daytona Beach, 32114.
Can you raise your right hand, sir? Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes,
Thank you.
What is your relationship to Rachel?
that is my wife.
Okay. And you have permission to speak for her?
Yes.
Okay. All right, go ahead, Ms. Quinn.
Good morning, Mariah Quinn, Inspector for the City of Daytona Beach Code Compliance. My credentials are on file. This case was opened January 2nd, 2024. The respondent was first notified on April 9th, 2024 for a no fence permit. The compliance date was April 19th, 2024. I have had contact with the owners who live out of state currently. The staff recommends non-compliance with compliance on September 4th cutoff.
Have you applied for a permit, sir?
No, I have not.
Why?
So I had applied for the permit to build the garage, and on the survey that showed a pre-existing 3/4 of fencing around the property that was in chain link. So I had removed it and put the fence up myself, kind of just out of ignorance, not knowing the process. And I've been up here in New Jersey dealing with my sister-in-law in hospice who just passed away 2 days ago. So
Sorry.
we're coming back to our home in Florida at the end of the month permanently. And I just need to resolve this however possible.
So basically, it's not non-compliance.
It's in non-compliance. That's all we're doing today, sir, is figuring out whether you're in compliance or not in compliance, and you're not in compliance. So that's all we're here. You don't have a permit. You need to get a permit
Yes.
to come into compliance. So today, nobody's fining anybody when it's a new case. It's just compliance or non-compliance. Okay?
Yep.
September.
So the chair will entertain, do you have anything else? No. Okay, chair will entertain a motion to find respondent in non-compliance or respondent come into compliance by the next cutoff date, which is.
She requested the September cutoff.
September cutoff because they're coming back into town at the end of this month.
All right, so we'll give you till the September cutoff. That's what the city's recommending, which is September 4th.
Okay.
2024, or be returned to the board for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day. Is there such a motion?
So move.
Motion, Mr. Gonzalez, is there a second?
Second.
Second, Ms. Roby, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed. Okay, so make sure you get with permits and licensing and get your permit, get done what you need, and then.
Yep,
get
no
your work
problem.
done. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
All right.
you.
We're going back to our regularly scheduled program here, and we're on case number 1. And no, we're not hearing anything out of order anymore, sorry. So case, oh, that's you too.
That's me too.
Talitha A. Austin, CEB 06-24-89. That person on Zoom?
This one will withdraw.
Yeah, she's not on Zoom. This is Mariah Quinn.
Yeah.
Again. So this case, the city is asking for it to be withdrawn because they have since sold the property. It has new owners.
Oh, okay, so it has, okay.
It kind of happened in the process prior to the finding of non-compliance, so we need to vacate the non-compliance order as well.
Okay.
Any motions?
Do we need a motion to
Yes.
withdraw? There a
Vacate and withdraw.
Motion to withdraw,
And vacate
to vacate
and withdraw.
and withdraw.
Vacate and withdraw.
Okay, Ms. Roby second, Ms. Marshall in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed, motion carries. Case number 2. CEB 05-24-71, Gary George and Heidi Robinson. This is Mr. Wiggins. Good morning.
Good morning. Inspector Curtis Wiggins, Code Compliance, credentials on file. Respondent was first notified of violation December the 5th, 2023. Since the last hearing, the permit was issued June 18th, 2024. I have had contact with the owner, and the staff recommends amend to the next cutoff.
Okay. Shara, will, so you want to amend the previous order of noncompliance and allow respondent until 7/31/2024 to come into compliance and be returned to a subsequent meeting for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day. Is there such a motion?
So moved.
Motion, Mr. Gonzalez. Is there a second? Second. Second, Ms. Marsh. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed. Motion carries. Case number 3. CEB 04-24-67. This is Mr. Klieg, Carrie Strauss at 778 Pelican Bay. I think I need a review of this case. I'm not quite sure what's going on here. Did they ever show up?
No,
And they're not here today?
he said he was gonna be here, I guess.
Well, he's not. Okay. You have contact?
Very, very limited. He sent me an email stating that he needs at least 60 to 90 days more. He was cited for failure to maintain on February 29th of 2024, failure to maintain the wood beams on the roof and also a wood fence on the side of the house. He picked up the wood fence, did not maintain it, fix it. And he said he can't find anybody to fix his beams. So city's recommending a fine of $100 a day, capped at $10,000.
Is this in Pelican Bay?
Yeah, Pelican Bay.
And they have not handling this themselves?
No. They got other issues, I guess.
Yeah. So we're picking up their tab.
Still is a code issue. Yeah.
So I'd like to make a motion that in the case of CEB 05-24-71, Gary George and Heidi,
No,
was that?
no, we're in case 3. That's,
Oh, okay. Well, in the case of CEB 04-24-67, Gary Strauss
right.
of, what's the address? 778 Pelican Bay, that we take the city's recommendation of imposing $100 a day fine.
Okay. Until it reaches 10,000?
10,000.
Okay, until it reaches 10,000.
All right, we have a motion from Mr. Gonzalez. Is there a second? Second. Second, Ms. Roby. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed. Okay, case number 4. CEB 06-24-90, Twin Homes LLC at 1401 3rd Street. The owner is here, and Mr. Kelton, the attorney.
Good morning.
Good morning, how are you? Good morning. Would you please be sworn in?
What's your name, ma'am?
Melissa Cox.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Butler, good morning.
Good morning. Roosevelt Butler, Code Compliance. Credentials on file with the City of Daytona Beach. As it pertains to 1401 3rd Street, the respondent was first notified on March 25th, 2024, and on April 16th, 2024, along with Manager Sykes, we met with Mrs. Cox on site for a reinspection and explained what needed to be done to gain compliance. Since last month's court proceedings, I've had contact with the property owner, and there has been minimum progress. All plumbing has been repaired. However, no permits has been pulled for the unpermitted work throughout the structure. On July 1st, 2024, Mr. Mark Boyce, the deputy building official, Supervisor Mark Jones, and I met with Mrs. Melissa Cox and her attorney on site. The deputy building official, Mark Boyce, explained to Mrs. Cox the unpermitted work needs to be permitted. After several minutes of dialogue, I tried to re-inspect the other areas beyond the bathroom and the kitchen, and we were denied access by both the attorney and the homeowner to complete my re-inspection. Staff requests a fine of $200 a day to a maximum of $15,000.
$200 a day?
$200 a day.
Hold on a second.
Got pictures from the first inspection.
Yes, sir.
This case was before us, wasn't it?
Last month.
Yes, sir.
Last month, okay.
What would you like to tell us?
What part of the issue here?
What's your name and address of the record?
Michael Kelton, the attorney for the.
Thank you, Mike.
Okay.
Part of the problem here is that we're having very little direction as to what they are citing as necessary for a permit. When I met with Mr. Butler last month, there was some concern over the wall inside the house that was built. It's a wall that has no plumbing and no electrical in it. It was our understanding, as confirmed when we walked downstairs to the permit department, that such a wall does not need a permit. It doesn't have plumbing or utilities in it, and it's not structured. He kept insisting it needed a permit. We were not understanding why. The inspection that we did on July 1st, we learned that because it's a tenant, it's a rental, that there needs to be electrical every 6 feet or so in the wall. So she's contacted her contractor, who's going to be applying for a permit to be able to do that.
Why hasn't she done it yet?
Because we didn't know what was being asked for her to do.
Well, did you go to permits and licensing?
We did. We walked down there with Mr. Butler. Mr. Butler explained.
And permits and licensing couldn't tell you what you needed?
They said we didn't need a permit. Her initial reaction was we didn't need a permit.
For anything?
For the wall that we were cited on, that was, we
The
were
wall,
provided
it
notice
says work without permit, interior renovations.
That-
What?
That's the wall.
You showed her a picture and they said you don't need this and you didn't get anything in writing?
We walked down there, Mr. Butler said, well, we'll go and explain it to the permit department and they'll be able to tell us if a permit is needed or not. He explained it.
When they tell you something, you as an attorney don't ask for something in writing?
I mean, either it's required or it's not. Either a permit.
Yeah, either it's in writing or it's not.
We were informally going down there. I didn't know that a writing was gonna be necessary. I mean,
Okay. All right.
if it's not a structural wall and it doesn't have utilities in it, my understanding is the building code does not require.
All I'm saying
permit.
is,
Yes, fair
if
enough.
you had it in writing, we wouldn't be having this discussion.
But we did the inspection on the first.
Well, is that the only, Mr. Butler, is that the only thing they needed a permit for?
They need the permit for that as well as there's a shed in the back. Please find the shed, that right there. That shows that work was done on that, and that requires a permit.
It's a non-residential shed. I don't believe that requires a building permit to repair a roof on it, on a non-residential structure.
And it was just that age.
Chair, I believe Mr. Butler, when they went with Denzel Sykes, the manager, and Inspector Butler, there was numerous items, not just the shed. They had converted a back area, added an additional kitchen, done quite a bit of work without permit, which was pointed out to the property owner when Mr. Butler was there with Manager Sykes. When we came back, when I had attempted to find what those items were, I was there with Mark Boyce, the Deputy Permit Director, Permits and Licensing Director, and we were denied looking at any other area of the house except a wall that they had converted into a living space.
Who denied?
The attorney and the property owner.
We were told specifically that the inspection was for plumbing, for the interior renovations, as noted on the notice here on the agenda today. There was nothing about, there's not been any specifics given as to the
About the
areas
shed
that
or
they wanted to
anything.
address. They just keep saying unpermitted work. It needs this, repairs need done. I mean, we're getting citations for damage to the bottom of a door and being told that that's a code violation. I have a hard time understanding how that is an actual code violation that we're being cited for.
Madam Chair, I could help.
Go ahead.
Anthony Jackson, attorney for the city. We're not talking about mere residents who's stay as far as the dwelling place. We're talking about a rental. We're talking about
Yes.
property that's income property, and we have rental standards that may even be a little bit beyond just the simple things that Mr. Kelton's expressing. And those rental standards includes the physical conditions that may have been cited, as well as the things that apparently whoever was instructing in the permits division at the time may not have been aware of, but subsequently they took people, including the deputy building official, to actually see, not just say, based upon description, but actually see what the circumstances were. And the ones that they saw, they expressed to them what was necessary, and the ones they couldn't see, they couldn't address. So they remain non-compliant because they haven't been re-inspected.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, me too.
Has the rental license been obtained?
It's paid for, but it can't be until this is closed.
But you're gonna have to pass that inspection. So,
And I would have already pulled the permit thing on my own, but they said I have to have a contractor do it. So for the last 10 days, that's what I've been doing, is contacting contractors. One was supposed to meet me there yesterday and didn't.
on a rental, couldn't the owner be the contractor?
They're not residing there. I think part of the requirement is that they would have to be residents.
Otherwise, it would already be pulled, I promise.
And if I may, the rental license was denied at their application due to a zoning issue because they are not just using it as a rental property, they're using it almost for a housing unit where they are renting out individual rooms in a single-family area which is zoned SR5, and they cannot get a rental license for that.
Can I say something here?
Go ahead.
And I'm speaking for me. I'm sitting up here, been doing this for 15 years. I try to be fair, and I try to go on facts. And I'm referring to everybody involved with here. Is there something that prevents you from putting things in writing and presenting it to us so that we can make a decision instead of he said, she said, they said, maybe? That isn't fair to us, let alone anybody else in this room. And it's about time that if you're going to present cases, you present all of it. And if you're going to present evidence, you present all of it. I don't care whether you say, they said. I wouldn't do business with anybody that dealt that way. Especially in the state of Florida, you don't have it in writing. You have nothing, and even maybe if you do, you have nothing. But at least give us something so that we can make a decision. All I've heard is he said, she said, they said. You may have it. If you do, give it to us.
We've got, I mean, one of the issues that was raised when we did the inspection was the bathroom door, the bottom of it needed to be painted. We've got pictures to show that it's been repaired. As he said, the plumbing has been taken care of, the leaks that were being cited.
Well, he needs to come, the rental inspector, are there people living there now?
Yes, ma'am.
Numerous.
Numerous people. How many people live there?
It's not like an Airbnb.
I asked you how many people live there.
There's 7 tenants.
7 people? How big is the house? How many bedrooms?
There's 7 bedrooms.
Property appraisal 3-1. But however,
How
if
many
you look at the
bathrooms?
pictures,
There's 2 bathrooms. And there's like 5
That-
emergency
not-
fire exits.
Go ahead.
If it's denied because of zoning, will it ever, or do they have what do you call it, an appeal process to have this house changed for the zoning, or will the rental license never be issued? Because if that's the case,
applied for
then
zoning
those
or for
people
the
can't
open
stay there.
I just applied for a BTR,
That is
for a rental
correct.
license.
They could possibly go apply for a zoning change in an SR5 single-family neighborhood. I can't answer for the zoning board.
Right.
But that is typically denied.
How long, okay, and how long does it take the zoning board to make a decision on whether they're gonna open this house up for rentals or deny?
I have no idea, and they haven't submitted anything, so I can't give you a timeline.
We need to get busy on this. This is not going to stand. We're not going to have out of zoning. We're not going to have 7 people in one place in a 3-1. We're not going to have a whole lot of things. It's got to pass the rental inspection, just like everybody else has to do in this city.
And I didn't mean to interrupt, I'm sorry.
That's okay, go ahead.
Until he mentioned that it was being denied for the zoning issue. She
We
was
weren't
under,
aware.
she was under the belief that it was being denied because of these violations.
that.
Well, it could be both things.
Well, she's never
Two-
been.
two
she's-
things.
She's
What-
never been cited for the number of residents in the property.
Did you get the denial back from the?
I did not. It actually, the last time I looked at it online
I
before we came here.
I have an idea. I'm willing to put this case off for 30 days. And I want to see some stuff in writing of exactly what needs to be done, when it needs to be done, what you need to, you need a zoning change, you better get one, because you can't stuff people in an area in a house.
I assure you, they're not stuffed. My attorney's been there. It's not a stuffed environment.
Madam Chair,
Good.
could we, along with that order, request that we're able to inspect the total property with a building inspector so we can get his written observations of not just them converting a living room into a living space, but look at the total property so that we can make a complete determination.
Well, I mean, that's the only way you're going to get a rental license, right? Is by having access to the property. You have to give them access to the property to get a rental license. You can't rent the property without a rental license. Right?
That is correct.
Okay.
They are renting it without a rental license.
Correct.
But we aren't able to get the building inspector to look at all the rooms, what other work they've done there to make sure that it is up to city standards before they should even be able, because that is a major issue, is work without permits.
Right.
So the last time that this case was heard here, the same issues existed.
That's correct.
It was just last month. I wasn't here, so I did as much reading about it as I could, but
This is a rerun.
yeah.
Right.
This is just more of what happened last month.
We went for,
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
All right. We have a good inspector on the site. I'm going to take what he has reported to us. My short time work being here, he's always did a very thorough job with it, okay? I want to stand with his recommendation. If they come in here in 30 days with something else to prove to us that something else is going to be different, then I would be all in favor of that. But right now, we've been sending this man out there to do his job, and I think to deny that, I mean, we want him to keep doing his job.
Is that a
He's got to be able
motion?
to do it.
Is that a motion?
I'd have to put it in a motion, right? I'll make a motion that we accept,
The city.
I'm sorry?
Go ahead. Make a motion to
Mr.
accept the
Mr.
city's
yeah,
recommendation
Mr. Butler's recommendation,
of $200 per day.
right.
May I please
Up to
have time to reach the
15,000.
contractor,
Stop.
please?
No, we're done. I'm done hearing about this case right now. I want to get this moving one way or the other, and we do that with
Well,
motions.
I
the
second the
matter of the
motion.
motion is, I don't want to second guess what Mr. Butler's been out there to do. This is not his first time coming in here on any job. He's proven himself to be pretty thorough in what he does. So I want to make that motion that that we go along with Mr. Butler's recommendation of $200 up to $15,000.
Okay,
Second.
then there's a second. So Mr. Mohegan's made a motion, Mr. Gonzalez has made a second. Is there any more board discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed.
No.
May I ask what the, obviously to bring it into compliance, the problem we're having is finding out what's necessary to bring it into compliance.
Well, we're in the middle of a motion. I'm going to,
I thought it passed, sorry.
and a vote,
It passes, we have,
and we passed it, 6 to 1, 5 to 1. I'm going to tell you that you need to talk to Mr. Butler. You need to talk to permits and licensing. You probably need, I'm not supposed to be giving you advice as to what you're supposed
And
to be
we've done
doing.
both of them.
You should go downstairs
We
and
did
talk
that.
to people.
We did that and we were told we did
I
not need a
think you need to
permit
do
for
it
a
again.
wall. Well, that's great, but now where she's incurring $200 a day
And I
fine,
want to say,
when the city already told us we didn't need a permit for that. And
Well,
then on
we're done with
inspection
this
that
now.
just occurred 6 days ago, we finally got details on it.
Document
Things that were
everything you
being
do,
told are
get it in writing.
violations, weren't violations.
Document everything you do, get it in writing downstairs.
And if we get something, like, this whole time, like, it wasn't even, first off, he sent the notices to Thursday.
this case is over. I'm sorry. We have voted. Case number 5, CEB 05-24-72, George McCaffrey. Mr. McCaffrey here?
Yes, ma'am.
Good. This is Mr. Stenson.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Your Honor.
How are you?
Pretty good today.
Good. State your name and address for the record and be sworn in.
George Caffrey, 125 Beau Rivage Drive, Ormond Beach, 32176.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
All right. Mr. Stenson, what can you tell us?
Good morning, John Stinson, Code Inspector with the city. My qualifications are on file. This respondent was first notified on January 8th, 2024. My last inspection of the property, excuse me, was yesterday. He has made quite a bit of progress. He still has a little bit further to go. I'd like to amend this case to the next cutoff.
What actually has been done?
The entire rear part that was damaged for the fire has been demolished. It's been replaced, and all he has is basically cosmetics to finish up.
Terrific. You have anything to say?
No, I'm just,
Working on it, right?
yeah, I as far as I can tell, I talked to Melissa in the contractor inspection office, and she said that the window passed, the door passed, the demo passed. There was a problem with where the placement of the slab for the steps were, and my contractor redid it, but he never called for an inspection.
Okay.
So, and of course, he has to remove his ladders and scaffolding and all.
Yeah, okay. Any comments from the board? Chair will entertain a motion to amend the previous order of noncompliance and allow respondent until 7/31 to come into compliance to be returned to a subsequent meeting for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day. Such a motion?
So moved.
Motion, Mr. Harrington, second, Ms. Marshall, in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed, motion carries.
Thank you.
Keep doing what you're doing, good work,
Okay.
thank you.
I appreciate that.
Okay.
Thank you, Inspector.
Yeah, stay in touch with Mr. Stenson so he can come and re-inspect, okay? Case number 6, CEB 01, this is a Zoom, 01-24-19, Nicole McErleen and Miguel Pagan. Hello,
Good morning, ma'am.
how are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you doing today?
Good, you're here for a progress report. State your name and address for the record and be sworn in.
Nicole Mackerline, 992 Broadway, Norwood, New Jersey, 07648.
Will you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
All right, we're not going to make any rulings today. We're just seeing what progress you've made, okay?
Yes.
Mr.
So-
Stenson. Well, let Mr. Stenson talk, and then I'll give you a chance. Go ahead.
John Stinson, Code Inspector with the city. Generally, we allow the property owner to give us a progress report.
Okay.
It's-
While they're conferring, have you been in touch with Mr. Stenson all along, telling him what you're doing? Nicole?
Nothing could be done, because I am in litigation with my insurance company because they were not paying the damage claim. But good news is we went to arbitration, which was in my favor. And the insurance company did cut a check, which was received by my public adjuster, then sent to me and sent to my bank. So while we are still litigating some portions of the claim, they have released funds that are in my bank's possession, and I'm waiting for my bank to issue me the first payment so I can issue a payment to a contractor to begin getting the permits and starting the work. But right now, I have not received the funds from my bank, even though the check has come in down the line from the insurance company to public adjuster to me to them.
Okay. Mr. Stenson. What? So have you been in contact?
not since the last hearing.
Please stay in contact with Mr. Stenson. It's very important that you let him know what's going on. I know that you're giving the progress report, but it would be nice if Mr. Stenson, because he's going to eventually be the one that puts you in compliance or not in compliance, and the city makes a recommendation to us as to how long or whether they want to fine you. You're not going to fine today because it's just a progress report, but how much time they're willing to give you. But you need to stay in touch with him. It's really important.
Understood, ma'am. Will
Okay.
do. Thank you.
Okay.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Mr. Stetson, this is for Mr. Stetson. The issue of unmaintained landscaping, is that like the grass or?
That's correct. The landscaping is currently being maintained while the property is.
It is maintained?
Yes.
Okay.
Madam Chair, procedural, there is an issue I just was clarifying with the staff before I brought it up. But the last amended order dated June 17, 2024 was for, would have had this for imposition of a fine if it was in compliance by the July 3rd date. So what would need, the desire of staff is that we do give her this additional time.
Okay.
And so we're just asking to amend the order as opposed to,
Okay, good.
whatever that.
So,
So,
I have a question.
go ahead.
So last meeting, we moved to a progress, we amended it, moved to a progress report. Progress report seems like it's still not in compliance. So we're gonna give them another 30 days. Is that what I'm understanding?
For me, what I was saying is that the actual order was an order for imposition of a fine from the
Right, that's what I'm saying, yeah.
What
But
was
we're not
the
asking
order?
for a fine. The order was our standard amended order. Nicole, Erlene, and Miguel Pagan must bring the property into compliance, have it inspected and approved by the code enforcement inspector, and obtain an affidavit of compliance by July 3rd, 2024. Our standard order for compliance.
Well, why isn't it on here?
It was apparently on there now, the way it's marked. It should have been, the action taken for this case needed to be in position of.
Right.
However, the request of staff is for, to amend to the September cutoff date.
September cutoff.
Yes, yeah.
So I have a motion then.
Go ahead.
In the case of CEB 01-24-19 regarding Nicole McLaren and Miguel Pagan, I would move that we accept the city's recommendation of coming back on the next meeting. However,
Okay, I think they're asking till September. So
Oh,
that's
till-
up to you.
okay. I would say the next meeting, because it looks like we're just extending and extending and extending, and I would like to see some action. For a fine to start if they're not in compliance again, a fine of $100 a day.
Is there a second to that motion?
Probably not.
That motion dies for lack of second. Would someone else like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Go ahead.
We take the city's recommendations of the 60 days for the compliance to come forward since the funds haven't been released from the bank to her to pay anybody on this insurance claim.
Yeah, I mean, this insurance stuff is
Terrible.
terrible. I mean, yeah.
An important thing, if I may say, Madam Chair, would be for her to just make sure she keeps the inspector,
Right, that's really important. Let him know what's going on. All right, so
Will
we
do.
have a motion on the floor to amend the previous order and allow you to, till September 4th, to come into compliance. Is there a second to that? Second, Ms. Marsh. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed.
Oppose?
Motion carries 5-1. Okay, so you've got some more time. We understand that insurance is difficult to deal with, so, but I do want you to stay in touch with Mr. Stenson. Let him know
Will
what's
do.
going on, okay?
Yes,
Thank you.
ma'am. Thank you.
Okay,
Clarification, she did mention that the check has been
Right.
deposited, and so,
They put a hold on it.
right, yeah, but,
it should get,
right.
yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
I
So
don't want her
we
to-
should see some there should be a lot done by next time, that's 2 months. Okay. Thank you. Case number 7, CEB 09-22-204, Bonnie Boudreau Keating. Good morning, Ms. Kirk.
Good morning.
Oops.
Oops.
Careful.
I swear I'm not drinking yet.
Okay, please state your name and address for the record and be sworn in.
Bonnie Keating, 606 South Lambville Avenue, Daytona Beach, Florida.
Okay?
Will you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, Ms. Kirk, what's going on?
Okay, good morning. Sarah Kirk, Inspector with the city. My credentials are on file. Since the last hearing, there was a little bit of confusion regarding the permit for the shed in question. It has been straightened out. I've spoken directly with the permit department. So we should have that by the next cutoff for sure. So I'd like to ask to amend.
Okay, any questions from anybody?
This is the same old one. that-
Yeah, we're,
It's
Go on.
I know, it's
Okay.
ridiculous. Okay, we're getting there. So,
We are getting there.
good. Motion to amend the previous order of noncompliance and allow respondent until July 31st to come into compliance or return to a subsequent meeting for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 a day.
So moved.
Motion, Ms. Roby, second, Ms. Marsh. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed. Motion carries. Okay.
Thank
good.
you.
Sounds
Thank
good.
you. Yes,
Moving
thank you.
along.
Thank you.
Case number 8, CEB 05-24-83, Ramella INT Corporation from Holly Hill. Are they here? Yeah. Okay.
Okay, since the last hearing, well, first notification was February 22nd of 2024. Since the last hearing, there has been progress. I haven't had any contact, but there has been progress. A renovation permit was issued 6/28/24, electric, AC, plumbing, and there's also a utility permit that was completed. So they have the sewage lines going in.
Well, how do you know all this if they haven't contacted you?
By looking at
Just by, okay.
yeah, the system has everything in there.
Right,
So they are, and I was at the property yesterday. They had people out there cutting the yard and cleaning up. So
Good.
they are moving along. So I'd like to ask to amend to the next cutoff.
Any comments from the board? All right, Chair will entertain a motion to amend the previous order of noncompliance, allow respondent until 7/31 to come into compliance and return to the board for a subsequent meeting for consideration fine of up to $1,000 per day. Such a motion.
So moved.
Who was that?
Over here.
Okay, Mr. Gonzalez, second. Second, Ms. Roby, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed. Okay, case number 9, still Ms. Kirk.
Okay.
CEB 01-24-09, BAT Development, LLC. Anyone present? Okay.
Okay. Since the last hearing, I have had contact. First notification was May 4th, 2023. I have had communication with the owner. There was a rental inspection. It failed. However, there's a new one scheduled for 7/19. So that's the only thing that's holding up the case. So I'd like to ask to amend to the next cutoff for compliance. And the
Did they get the permit for the fence?
They did, yep. The fence permit was finalized on 4/12.
Chair will entertain, any comments from the board? Chair will entertain a motion to impose a fine, oh, sorry, try this over. Entertain a motion to amend the previous order of noncompliance and allow respondent until 7/31 to come into compliance and be returned to a subsequent meeting for consideration of fine of up to $1,000 per day. Such a motion?
So moved.
Motion, Ms. Roby, second, Ms. Marshall. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed, motion carries. Case number 10. CEB 06-24-91, Mentho Body. Beatty? Anybody here? Okay.
Okay, first notification was September 13th of 2021. Since the last hearing, I haven't had any contact and there's been no progress. Staff's recommending a fine of $100 a day to a max of $10,000.
Why hasn't this case come back if they were notified in 21?
It slipped through the cracks. That's my fault.
Okay.
Just my caseload. It was, I was trying to work with them to see if they could get on the city's waiting, some type of program
Right.
for assistance. And but for some reason they didn't qualify for it. So I just I tried to work with them as much as possible on the violations.
How much was your fine? I'm sorry, Sarah.
$100 a day to $10,000.
And you've had no contact?
They were here last month.
Yeah.
And over the few years, I did have contact with them about the violations. So a little bit of work would be done, and then nothing for quite a while. So I was hoping this past month they would. They didn't get in contact with me all this previous month. So.
Comments from the board?
Now, a motion.
Go ahead.
Madam Chair, in the case of CEB 06-24-91, Mentho H. Beatty, I move that we accept the city's recommendation to impose a fine of $100 up to $10,000. However, I would add for the fine to start immediately.
Well, is there a second to Mr. Gonzalez's motion?
Second.
Ms. Roby made second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed. Motion carries. It will start immediately.
Okay.
Okay. Case number 11, CEB 06-24-96, Ellen and Bernard Wall. Anybody here? Okay.
Okay,
Contact?
no contact since the last hearing, and there's been no progress since the last hearing. Staff's recommending a fine of $100 a day to a max of $10,000.
Look at these pictures. Outside storage. Nothing's happened?
Not since the last hearing. Initially, I think there's one picture in here that I showed. Okay. So there was more outside storage. So some of the outside storage was cleaned up, but the vehicle that's parked in the grass has expired tags. There's still some outside storage, and then you've got the issue with the roof. There's something laying on top of it to where it's got a hole in the roof. So there's boards and stuff laying up there.
What was your recommendation?
$100 to $10,000.
Any comments?
I'd like to raise it up a little bit.
Go ahead.
I'd make a motion for $200 a day, up to 10,000.
Second.
All right, we have a motion from Ms. Roby and a second from Mr. Gonzalez to impose a fine of $200 per day against the respondent effective today and continue until compliance is achieved or reaches 10K. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed. Motion carries. Pays to show up and to be in contact with your code inspector. Case number 12, CEB 03-24-41. Travis Thomas, Maxie Thomas, other Thomases, and Mr. Wilson. Anybody here? Okay.
Good morning, Inspector
Good
Garcia,
morning.
credentials on file. This respondent was first notified of all the violations on November 6, 2023. Since the last hearing, I have had no contact. The building's not occupied, and there's been no progress. Staff's recommending a fine of $250 a day, capped at $10,000.
Capped at what?
$10,000.
Do they live there?
No, there's nobody there.
So-
This is the one that, if I can refresh your memory, there was a gentleman living there, which is this guy here in the picture. He passed away, and I believe the nephew was the one that was taking responsibility to make the repairs on the property. What he did was he did finally hire a contractor or someone stating to be a contractor, and then they was not able to pull the permit, but he did do some work. So he did actually work without the permit, and the work was not corrected. It was not something that was done correctly. So
nobody lives in there?
No,
So
it's-
that
it's
makes
vacant.
it 10,000? Fine up to 10,000?
Since that was his last use, was as a,
Single.
owner occupied.
Owner occupied, yeah, okay.
Question.
Go ahead.
Do we know if there's any probate issues involved here?
don't know.
I mean, clearly it's a, state property, he's deceased, we named multiple,
People of interest, whether or not they've initiated a probate proceeding, we don't know. That may be the reason why they were unable to get the permit, because they may not have a defined owner or any kind of court authority.
They're not contacting Mr. Garcia to tell them that, so,
Understand.
we
Just
can't
trying
make
to-
stuff up.
Yeah, just
You
trying to
know,
answer
We
Mr.
don't know
Gonzalez.
what's going on. Right.
I understand.
Thank you, I appreciate the answer.
Okay. So your recommendation was 200 a
Correct.
day to
Correct.
10,000. All right, Chair will entertain a motion to impose a fine of $200 per day against the respondent effective today and continue until compliance is achieved or reaches a maximum of $10,000. Such a motion?
So moved.
Motion, Ms. Roby, is there a second?
Second.
Second, Ms. Marsh, all in favor say aye. Aye. Like sign opposed, motion carries. Case number 13, CEB 04-24-56, Lisa and Helen Walker. Mr. Garcia, anybody here?
I spoke to them yesterday on the property, and this is the one that the mother had cancer, and the daughter had her something removed from her neck. So she actually would have been here, but she said she wasn't going to because she had a doctor's appointment. So with this one, the respondent was first notified of all the violations on October 21st, 2023. I've had contact with the tenant, the owner. It is occupied, and progress has been made. The first picture, you can see that there was a large amount of overgrowth, and then she's been doing it herself. So we're asking to amend to the next cutoff.
So the person that owns the house is sick, and so is the other, one owner's
Both
owners are
Both,
sick.
yeah, the mother and daughter live there.
And they live there.
Right.
Okay. But they are doing work.
Yes, the daughter is the one doing all the work.
Okay. Any questions from the board? Any comments? Chair will entertain a motion to amend the previous order of noncompliance and allow respondent until 7:31 to come into compliance to be returned to a subsequent meeting for consideration of fine of up to $1,000 per day. Is there such a motion?
So moved.
Motion, Ms. Roby. Is there a second?
Second.
Second, Ms. Marsh. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed, motion carries. Case 14, CEB 05-24-76, Henry Floyd Daughtry. Anyone here? Okay.
The respondent was first notified of all the violations on October 31st, 2023. I have had no contact from them since the last hearing. The property is not occupied, and there has been, the only progress that's been made is they cleared the landscaping. But with that said, we're still going to push forward for a fine of $250 a day, capped at $10,000, because the property's unsecured, has a lot of damages on the exterior, the roof, and I got with John Cecil downstairs that deals with the demo, and the property was posted to be demolished, and the city's actually the one that's doing that. Looks like the only thing they're waiting on is they need a FPL letter, but everything else has been done. The sewer's been disconnected, asbestos report has been completed, and the gas has been disconnected.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
So if the city's going to demolish it, then why are we finding?
Because the owner never took care of the issue, which is making the city take care of it.
Right.
So what we're doing is the city's fining them until it comes in compliance, which the city will wind up putting it in compliance.
Right.
And then
So are the costs to be considered of the demolition?
I'm sure that John Cecil will be handling that part. He has a case with them also.
All right, thank you.
All right, let's be clear about this. The city is going to take charge of demolishing the building.
Correct.
At that point, the owner will have to pay for it? Well, we don't know.
Madam Chair, if
Go
I
ahead.
may. Yeah, once when the city handles the demolition, the demolition the lien is applied against the property.
Correct.
Okay.
So it's something that would remain until the property's sold or they try to get a loan or someone pays it. And it's a separate lien from what would occur. with
Right,
the
that's what I
code
want to make
enforcement.
clear.
Correct.
And-
So it's separate from the code enforcement lien.
And I think the
Okay.
position of staff is that the property still remains in non-compliance even with the demolition because there's other issues regarding the property. Is that correct?
Yeah, I believe so, because they never got the permit or anything, and
We're talking about number 14?
yes.
Well, no, number,
Yeah, number 14, the same.
okay, yeah, you got this stuff.
Do we know when the property's going to be demolished?
Once, I spoke to John Cecil, and he said once he gets the FPL letter, that's the only
Oh, the
thing that's
FPL,
they're waiting on.
right.
And then they could move forward.
And Madam Chair, this is very typical, that our code case continues.
Right.
Because sometimes this comes up where owners say they're gonna demolish and never do. This is just a separate
But that's
case.
why I asked if the city was gonna do it.
Yeah,
Because if the city's gonna do it, then, you know.
This, I don't know if you remember, but they came last month, and
I
they
wasn't here
they
last
stated they were in a program with the city. What
Oh,
they
yeah,
what
right,
there
I
was
see that.
they weren't they never supplied that letter, which was asked.
Right, it was denied, wasn't it?
Yeah, they had the letter. that was-
Yeah.
I know.
And also John Cecil told me what they was is they was on a list to be on the list for the
Be on
program.
the
List to be on the list.
That's what quote unquote what he said.
They appealed the decision? Where is it in the process now?
Say that again, I'm sorry.
They appealed that decision to knock it down?
Oh, no, they apparently just hadn't taken care of it. And so the city will
You'll do it.
will proceed through the separate division, through the permits division.
All right, my only problem is, you know, I guess $250 a day.
I'm gonna pay it anyway.
What?
They're gonna get paid.
Yeah.
It's just gonna get there faster than if we do.
Yeah, that's true. It doesn't, yeah, okay. Well, would somebody like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to accept the city's recommendation for the $250 a day to the 10,000.
Okay.
Second.
All right, we have a motion from Ms. Roby and a second from Mr. Gonzalez. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Like sign opposed, motion carries. Case number 15 is in compliance. Case number 16,
Before you go on, Madam Chair, what was the amount again?
$250 a day.
$250 per day to 10K.
Thank you.
Case number 16, CEB 04 oh, good, I'm glad you're here. 04-24-53, Peggy Cooper, but you're the daughter, correct?
Yes.
Okay, what is your name? State your name and address for the record.
Tamika Wilmore, 615 Romer Street, Daytona Beach, Florida, 32114.
Okay.
Will you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. What can you tell us, Mr. Garcia?
Well, the respondent was first notified of all the violations on December 16, 2023. I have had contact with the owner. The property is occupied, and there's recently been progress made by, I spoke to her today, and I went down and I also confirmed that they have applied for a permit, so it's under review, and this was as of yesterday. So we're asking to amend to the next cutoff, allowing her to, it's an after-fact permit, which means is what they did is they started the work prior to getting the permit. So once she gets that permit, then they can continue with their project.
Okay, what is your recommendation? Another,
Or just amending to the next cutoff to
Next
have them.
so
come and
you're
comply.
working on getting this done. Do you live there?
Yes.
Okay. You stay in touch? Let
Yes,
me know
yeah.
everything that's going on, okay?
Okay.
Because you will be the person, Mr. Garcia will be the person that puts you in compliance,
Okay.
okay? All right, Chair will entertain a motion to amend the previous order of non-compliance, allow respondent until July 31st to come into compliance or return to a subsequent meeting for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day. Such a motion?
So moved.
Motion, Mr. Gonzalez, second.
Second.
Second, Ms. Roby. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed, motion carries.
Oh,
So
just to make
stay
sure
in
she
touch.
knows
Go ahead.
that she needs a final with the building department.
Building department.
The building
So
department.
when you get your permit and the work's all done, you have to have
A final inspection, whether
a
she have to
final
call.
inspection. So make sure you get that set up too. But thank you for working on the property.
Okay, thank you.
Good. Okay. We're going to note that Mr. Harrington is not here at 10:30. We'll make a note when he comes back. We're going to move on to our new cases. New cases. All we do is decide, in listening to testimony, whether you're in compliance or not in compliance. If we have testimony from the code officer and we have pictures that it's not in compliance, that's it. But you are not going to get fined today. We may determine the amount of time that you have to come into compliance, but that is what we're doing right now. So we don't need a whole lot of explanation or anything else. All we need is, whether or not it's in compliance or not in compliance. That's it. Okay. So we're going to start with case 17, CEB 07-24-123, Cody Bill O'Connell and Brandon Diao.
Is that you, sir? I'm here. Come on.
Okay, come on up. State your name and address for the record, sir.
Cody Bill O'Connell, 117 Palm Place, Daytona Beach, Florida, 32114.
Will you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, good morning. I don't know you,
I am.
but welcome. What's your
Thank you.
name?
Inspector Aubriana Itani, Code
Okay.
Compliance.
Okay.
This case was opened on April 18th. Field generated from unmaintained landscaping, faded paint, dirt and grime, and a junk vehicle. First notice was received on May 4th, 2024. Compliance was due June 4th, 2024. As of July 10th, there's been no improvements. And there's been no contact with the owner. Staff's requesting non-compliance, compliance by next cutoff.
Well, landscaping isn't, I can see that.
Well,
Faded paint, could we see more pictures?
yeah, that's not faded paint. I live in that's the worst flood area in Daytona Beach. That's why it looks like that. And that's like a constant thing that I got to constantly clean. That's not faded or cracked at all. None of the paint. That's actually a new paint job that's on that house. I live in one of the worst flood areas. It's constantly underwater. The city overpassed my street when they did all the fixing of the pipes over in that area. I even got a letter in the mail that said they were skipping over my street to fix the drainage in that area. So whenever it just gets a bad rain over there, we're underwater over there. The vehicle, the letter that I got posted.
What neighborhood is that, or?
This is Palm Place. This is like downtown, just at the end of the historic district. At the end of the historic district.
Really?
Which is pretty much the worst flood area in Daytona. Now, like I said, they fixed all the area, it's just the underneath ground drainage, but we got a letter saying that they weren't going to fix our street.
Did you
So they
bring,
passed
did
it.
you bring the letter?
No, this is from years ago. I can look for it and come back. That was another thing I was going to bring up. I mean, I'm obviously not prepared. This began as a thing with the vehicle. Now, the vehicle, I admit that it's been there for a while, but I had a thing with the hurricanes. The first hurricane, it was underwater. It damaged the vehicle. I started fixing it. Then we got the second hurricane. It was underwater again. It pretty much took me out. I lost my job and everything. I lost 2 vehicles. Actually, I had 2 vehicles, 2 trucks in that driveway that were both underwater. Lost both of them.
Okay.
But the first letter that I got, it was posted on the vehicle. I believe it was from the officer over here. It said if I had a problem with moving it at that time, that I can send a letter to the chief of police explaining what was going on and and that's what I did. And I thought it had ended at that point. And and then the second letter I got, it stated what was going on, that I needed to do something with the vehicle again, but only this time it added all those other things, which I
Okay,
feel like I wasn't even
let's,
properly informed of, because I didn't even get a first letter about the
Right.
grass and other. That was just about the
So
vehicle.
we're here today to see whether you're in compliance. I
I never got a warning about that though. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Yes, you did in May. You were notified in May.
No, I was not. That was about the vehicle.
Wait.
That's the thing I'm trying to say. I was not notified about that.
So nothing else, it just said junk vehicle on the notification.
That's right. It wasn't until the recent,
Can I see
the most recent
notification, please?
letter, the most recent letter that I got was about the other stuff.
Okay, stop talking. What I'd like to see is the notification. I'd like you to read the notification that was
Just so you know that
posted.
there's two different things. He's talking about, I posted the vehicle as a junk vehicle.
Yeah.
And taped it to his truck.
Okay.
Then she would have sent notice for the other things.
Okay.
So he got the one on the
How
truck.
did that notice get posted? Did it get mailed to him? Did it get posted? How did that get?
I sent him certified mail.
It's both.
And it was
Posted as well.
signed.
And it was signed for, and it was posted as well?
I never signed for
I never
anything
got
like
a
that.
return signature,
That-
so she posted a property.
Yeah, the thing that posted was stuck on my front lawn. That's the only thing I
Doesn't
got.
matter. That.
But I wasn't properly
All right.
informed of that. That's what I'm trying to say.
We're here today. I'm going to explain it one more time.
Maybe
We're
I should-
here
maybe I need to
today-
speak to a
we're-
lawyer and come back.
Stop talking, please, sir. We're here today to decide whether you are in compliance or non-compliance. I can see from the pictures that you are in non-compliance.
Well, yeah, you can see right there. Yeah, that's the notice. That's the first notice I got. That's the only notice I got about it.
But how many notices do you need?
I only got one.
That's
I
all
didn't
you
get a
need.
chance to come into compliance. It was a
no,
notice to come to court.
Okay, I'm going to call the question on this case unless somebody has a comment they want to make.
Madam Chair, I do want to make one comment. I believe that if we want to look at what he's saying as a question as to whether he had adequate due process, the file does have the affidavit of service signed by the inspector, which it would satisfy the requirements under 16212 of Florida statute, where she indicates that the property was posted at the city hall as well.
He's here today.
You guys are wrong about
And
this.
in
I'm going to
addition,
get a lawyer. I'm going to sue you.
Well, but he's,
Okay,
he's protesting,
Okay, fine.
posting. So I just want to make
You need
sure
a
that
chance
the
there, but
record
I'm
is
telling you,
clear.
you're wrong.
Stop talking, please, sir. You,
So
you
I'm not allowed to
don't
talk?
have the floor anymore.
I haven't had the floor since I got here.
But you've been yelling the whole time, so please just, let's bring it down a notch.
Okay, whatever. You'll hear from my lawyer.
Okay, that's fine.
So just wanted to make the record clear as to what, that the steps were taken necessary to
What?
satisfy due process.
We're not finding you today.
Shouldn't be finding me at all.
I didn't say,
I never even got a chance to do anything about it.
I'm sorry, you're not listening. And it's very difficult
You're going to get
when
a
you're not
chance
hearing what
after
I'm
this.
saying. We're here today, and I'm gonna say it again,
All right.
to decide whether you're in compliance or not in compliance.
And I have nothing further, Madam Chair.
Okay. So we're going to decide that now. We're not finding you today. We're going to ask you to come into compliance.
Okay.
We're not finding you today.
Okay.
Do we have a motion?
Yeah, I'll make the motion. In the case of CEB 0724-123, I would motion that we find the case in non-compliance and ask them to be in compliance by our next meeting.
Okay. Is there a second to that motion that Mr. Gonzalez made?
Second.
Second, Ms. Roby. All in favor, say aye. Like sign opposed. Motion carries.
I got a question for him,
For who?
for the gentleman.
Okay.
It's after the case, but okay.
Yeah, I just want to know, is your house, which side of the river it's on? Because we had a case.
It's down by the funeral home that used to be at Bellevue and,
it's
Beach
right across the
Street.
street from the river, yeah.
There's a little side street
Got it.
there.
So,
Yeah, because we had another case where there was a flooding issue that the city also skipped. So I'm
Well,
just
there are more
wondering-
things
Oh, yeah,
here
that's
than
definitely an
just
issue.
flooding. So
every time it rains, it's an issue, but, you know.
the case is finished. Please, I'd like to get back.
So what happens after 30 days?
Come back.
We're done. We shouldn't discuss the case after we decide it. It's over.
Man, it scared the hell out of me with that hammer.
Sorry.
Took us off.
You made a point. You got her point across, I'll say that. I got it.
All right, let's move on. We have a Zoom call.
But we did that one.
Oh, we did case 18. Case 19, that case 18 was decided. Case 19, CEB 07-24-126, Alvin Matthew Harris II. Anybody here? Okay. Mr. Klieg.
Yes, ma'am. This case was opened on July 28th of 2023 for outside storage, overgrown landscaping, dilapidated garage, and failure to maintain the abutment. I had one contact with the owner. He said he was going to fix everything up. Nothing was done. City's requesting non-compliance, compliance next cutoff. That's his front yard right there, though.
What does maintain abutment mean?
Right there, the right-of-way out by, it's like Shady Place and the street area, the right-of-way.
Okay.
Yeah, the abutment is from the sidewalk to the street, which
Okay,
is the
yeah,
owner's
yeah.
responsibility to
Okay,
maintain.
I'm just looking to define the term abutment, that's all. Any questions? Chair will entertain a motion to find respondent non-compliance or respondent to come into compliance by the next cutoff date, July 31st, to be returned to the board for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day. Such a motion?
So moved. Second.
Motion, Ms. Roby, second, Ms. Marshall. In favor, say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed, motion carries. Case number 20, CEB 07-24-120, S.E. Jackson Grayson. Anyone here for that case? Oh, good. Come on up. This is at 845 Wildwood Street.
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Butler. Oh, well, state your name and address for the record and be sworn in.
S. Jackson Grayson, 845 Wildwood, Daytona Beach, 32117.
And the gentleman behind you?
Are you gonna speak, sir?
Yes,
I might.
Okay, go ahead. Say your name and address and be sworn in.
Albert Grayson, 845 Wildwood Street, Daytona Beach, 32117.
Okay.
And your first name was Alvin?
Albert.
Oh, Albert. Okay, thank you. Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Butler.
As it pertains to 845 Wildwood Street, this is a field-generated case. I conducted a site inspection on April 23rd, 2024, where it was determined the property had the following violations: outdoor storage, illegally parked RV, dilapidated shed. A first notice was received on April 27th, 2024. On May 27th, 2024, the violations was to be in compliance. Last day of my reinspection was June 25th, 2024. Result of my reinspection was non-compliance. I've had no contact with the property owner. Staff requests a finding of non-compliance, compliance by next cutoff.
Okay. So all of these problems still exist?
No, ma'am. Since then, they have removed the RV. Also, that little small shed that sits up front right there, the one that looked like it was built, that is gone at this time. What remains is, you see the blue tarp, outdoor storage. I was just there, so that still remains there.
Okay.
Okay, and they still have to call permits and license to see if they can get a permit for the shed that exists now.
Illegally parked ORV outside storage, dilapidated shed. It
See the
doesn't really-
one with the red top in the back?
Yeah,
That still exists. Yes,
that's a shed?
yes.
It does not say on here that, it
me
just
get it.
says dilapidated shed, right? Doesn't say that they
I stand corrected. Just repair it.
just repair?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, looks like you're working on things. Do you think you'll have it finished by next meeting?
Just to let me know what all I gotta get done.
Okay, you know
all
what,
that stuff
Mr.
in the front
Butler
is
can
done.
tell you exactly what you need to get done. The permit thing isn't coming into play then?
No.
Okay. All right. Good for you. Thank you for working on it. The chair will entertain a motion to find respondent in non-compliance or respondent to come into compliance by the next cutoff date, 7/31, or be returned to the board for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day. Such a motion?
So moved.
Motion, Ms. Marsh, second, Ms. Roby?
Ma'am.
Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed. Motion carries. Okay, good, thank you. So you have a little bit of time, get it finished, and then but make sure you let Mr. Butler know so that he can come and say, you're in compliance, and then you won't even have to come back again, okay?
We got a problem with that permit. That's what my
No,
problem.
well,
You know what?
okay.
Well, let's
So
share it with you.
You can talk to him
I'll talk
after
to
the
you.
meeting.
Okay, good.
Okay, that, I think that's.
Go away.
You still got my number? Just wait for me, I'll be out there.
Okay.
Okay. Case number 21, CEB 07-24-121, Charles Davis. Mr. Davis here? Okay, Mr. Butler, go ahead.
David.
Oh, you're here. Good. Sorry, I didn't see you walking up. Good morning. State
Morning.
name and address for the record and be sworn in.
Charles E. Davis, 1014 Continental Drive, Daytona Beach, Florida.
Will you raise your right hand, sir? Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Butler.
As pertains to 1014 Continental Drive, this is the field-generated case. I conducted a site inspection on April the 30th, 2024, where it was determined the property had the following violations: outdoor storage, parking, junk vehicle. The first notice was received on May 4, 2024. On May 10, 2024, the violation was to be in compliance. My last date of reinspection was June 3, 2024. Result of my reinspection was noncompliance. I've had no contact with the property owner. Staff requests a finding of noncompliance, compliance by next cutoff.
Parking junk vehicles. Are all those how many?
As you can see, that's what's left.
So there's 3 cars left that are junk?
The one in the middle,
Yeah.
tag is good, good. You see the one to the right, far right, as you can see, that's a junk vehicle.
Okay. How about the one to the left? What's the one?
That's just parking, so therefore he needs to park that vehicle on an approved surface, which is the driveway.
You understand what you need to do, sir?
Yes.
You gonna do it?
Have no other alternative, ma'am.
You what?
Yes.
Okay, that's good. That works. All right, so, any questions from the board? Okay. Chair will entertain a motion to find respondent non-compliance or respondent to come into compliance by the next cutoff date, 7/31, or be returned to the board for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day. Such a motion?
Ma'am?
Well, let's get through this motion in the second, and then I'll let you say one more thing.
I just want,
Second, Ms. Marsh. All right, well, now I'll have comment. Go ahead.
yeah. Can I just show you something?
Okay.
Step up.
Oh, show it to Mr. Butler and see what he needs.
It's okay. It's okay.
No?
Can't get, I had term, oh, it's coming on now.
Okay. What's it a picture of that you want to show us?
The property. It's okay, ma'am. I know what I got to do and I'll do
Okay,
it, so.
that's great. That's fine. So I have a motion and a second on the floor. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed. Motion carries. So if you get it done, we won't see you again, right?
I don't want to see you again either.
Okay.
That's it?
I'm glad yeah, that's it. You're good. But stay in touch with Mr. Butler. So, because he's the one that's going to put you in compliance.
Now, I'm in no telling when I might be home. I'm on the go all the time. I drive trucks. I'm in and out.
Okay, well, when you're in, call Mr. Butler and ask him to come look and see that those cars aren't there. That will be your best bet, and then you won't have to come back here.
Like I said,
If
I don't
you-
wanna come back.
Okay, bye. Okay, case number 22. Where we are? CB 07-24-131, John and Maisie Anthony. And it's still Mr. Butler.
Okay. As it pertains to 417 Forest Avenue, this is a field-generated case. I conducted a site inspection on April the 4th, 2024, where it's determined the property had the following violations: outdoor storage, unlicensed vehicles, protection and exterior surfaces.
What does that mean?
Which one?
No protective treatment.
That's the paint and stuff on the
Paint,
outside of
okay.
the structure.
Just checking.
Okay. A first notice was received on April the 20th, 2024. On May the 20th, 2024, the violations was to be in compliance. My last date of reinspection was June 25th, 2024. Result of my reinspection was non-compliance. I've had no contact with the property owner, and that is to be corrected. He called on yesterday. His wife had an emergency appointment at the doctor's office. I explained to him extensively what needed to be done in order to come in compliance. Staff requests a finding of non-compliance, compliance by next cutoff.
Does he understand? So you've told him what he needs to do.
Yes, ma'am.
Does he know and he knows he needs to call you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Chair will entertain motion to find respondent in non-compliance or respondent to come into compliance by the next cutoff date or be returned to the board for consideration of fine of up to $1,000 a day. Is there such a motion?
So moved.
Motion, Mr. Gonzalez. Second? Second, Ms. Marshall. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. All right. Yeah, Mr. Stenson. All right, case number 23, CB 07-24-128, Emery Dewey Lyons and Gregory Lyons and Dwayne Lyons. Anybody here? Okay, good.
I'm Emery Dewey Lyons.
Okay. State your address too and then be sworn in, please.
Emery Dewey Lyons, 6155 Jeffries Highway, Walterboro, South Carolina, 29488.
Will you raise your right hand, sir? Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Did you come all the way down here from South Carolina?
I travel back and forth.
Okay. All right, Mr. Stenson, what can you tell us?
Good morning, John Stinson, Code Inspector with the city. Qualifications are on file. This is a field-generated case. The property owner was cited for outside storage, parking in the front yard, actually in the side yard, and being an unlicensed rental property. Certified notice was not received. The property was posted on 11 March 2024. Compliance was due by 25 March 2024. The last site visit was on 28 June of 2024. Property remains in non-compliance. We're asking for an order of non-compliance and compliance by the next cutoff.
Can we go back to one of those pictures? What? No, keep going. That, what is that?
That is the backyard of the property.
Oh, okay, that's what I wanted to see, a little bit closer.
That's
Oh.
50 years of life inside of that garage. After my mother passed away, I was getting property ready to sell. And I was trying to clean out the garage, and like I said, I traveled back and forth, and I had no help.
So that was not your accumulation, that was your mother's?
Well, it was, all the family has lived in the house at some point in time.
Is anybody living there now?
I have a friend that's staying there. I mean, I stay there when I'm in town, but I don't live there permanently.
So,
You have a rubbish service,
No, sir.
you're not,
It does not look like that, no. I should have took a picture and brought you, I guess.
well, what you should have done was contacted Mr. Stenson and said that you've done a lot and showed him so he could report to us what he saw. How about the vehicles? That's still there?
I can't do anything with the vehicle until the estate is closed.
So this is an estate.
Yes, ma'am.
So it's under probate?
Is it in probate?
No, it's out of
yet?
probate. It's finally out of probate.
It's out of probate. So now you can do something about it. Okay, so we see, when are these pictures, Mr. Stenson? Do you have some recent pictures when you went back?
Let's see, he's in May now.
Mm-hmm.
He went back to March, February.
All right, let me see the May one again, please.
There.
All right,
15.
so you made some progress on cleaning it up, that, right? No?
No, ma'am.
So all that stuff was in the back of the house?
Correct. That first picture, yes.
Okay, and that's the car in question?
And that's the front door and all of the front porch.
That's what it looks,
Correct. That's the front of the house right there.
okay.
How far from the Ocean Center is that? 2 or 3 blocks?
3 blocks?
3 blocks.
Lovely.
Okay, well, are you working on this?
Yes, ma'am.
Is anybody helping you?
No, ma'am. I have to get a friend of mine whenever I can get him to haul the trailer there and load the stuff up and
All
haul
right.
it away.
Now, if you have somebody else living there besides you, I mean, are they paying rent?
No, ma'am.
So does that make it an unlicensed rental property?
He wasn't cited for that, so I don't know if we should be addressed.
The rental property is the apartment in the back.
I'm sorry.
The rental property is
Unlicensed rental. I thought
But-
it was inside.
The rental property is the apartment in the back, and it has not been rented since COVID, when
Yeah.
somebody lived there and didn't pay the rent
Okay,
for
so you-
$4,000.
So you don't have anybody living in that property now?
In the house, a friend of mine is staying in the house.
Okay.
Because like I said, I
Right,
travel
but-
back and
then
forth.
you-
That's just fine. It's in non-compliance.
Right.
And
Let's get the property cleaned up. Go ahead, Mr.
if it looks like that, then you haven't done anything.
No, sir, it doesn't look like that now.
Okay, but you understand you need to call Mr. Stenson to have him come out and look at it again.
Yes, ma'am.
And he's the one that will put you in compliance.
Okay.
And he'll
if
determine the
what-
status of your, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
He'll
Go ahead.
determine the status of your rental if you,
It's not gonna be rented. And I'll never rent it again. I'm selling the property.
get Mr. Stinson on there.
Yeah, okay,
I did speak with him before, and I told him the property is never gonna be rented again.
okay.
Okay.
All right, so Mr. Harrington's made a motion to find respondent in non-compliance and come into compliance by the next cutoff date of 7/31. Is there a second to that?
Second.
That would, who was that? Ms. Marsh?
Your turn.
Oh, Mr. Mr. Gonzalez, all right. And also, we need to add to that, or be returned to the board for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day. So try and
Okay.
get on it, get somebody to do it. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Just stay in touch.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Madam Chair.
Now-
Before you go on,
What?
didn't catch the motions.
Motion was to find respondent in non-compliance.
Who made the motion? Mr. Harrington?
No,
Mr. Gonzalez?
Mr. Gonzalez made the motion.
No, I
Oh,
said,
Mr.
he did.
Harrington made the motion.
Yeah.
If he wants to take credit, he's welcome.
And Mr. Gonzalez the second. Okay, there you go. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, look, we have, let's do the Zoom call and then we'll take a break. All right, this is case number 20, we'll take a 5-minute break too. That's it. Case 24, CB 07-24-97, Norma Jean Arndt. Oh, hello.
Hello.
Don't look like Norma Jean.
Nope.
State your
Tim
name and address for the record.
Bickle.
Oh, wait a minute.
She's on Zoom as well. I'm here
Okay,
representing
all
her.
right. Okay. Are you Norma?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, state your name and address for the record.
I can't hear her.
Be sworn in.
I can't hear what she said. I can't hear her.
Did you state your name and address for the record?
Norma Jean Arndt. You want the Florida address?
I want your address, yeah.
829 North Grandview, Daytona Beach, 32118.
And your name again, sir?
Tim Bickle with QCP Construction.
Tim
Tim Bickle.
Bickle. Okay, thank you.
Do you live there or do you rent it out?
No, it's my home when we come
It's
down.
just your home,
We
okay.
do not rent it.
Okay, not rented. Okay. All right, now, did we get, who are you, sir?
Tim Bickle.
Tim Bickle.
Yep. With representing QCP Construction Services.
Will you both raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Local construction company, do you have an address?
926 Valencia Road,
Okay.
South Daytona.
All right, we're going to hear from Mr. Stenson.
Good morning, John Stinson, Code Inspector with the City. Qualifications are on file. This is a complaint-driven case for unmaintained landscaping and a dilapidated garage. The boat parking violation has been corrected. Certified mail was received on 3 April 2024. Compliance was due by 1 May of 2024. The property remains in non-compliance. We're asking for an order of non-compliance and compliance by the next cutoff.
Okay? But, Ms. Hart, what would you like to tell us? You working on it?
I came down on May 14th, I came down to Florida. The boat was moved. The landscaping was taken care of. The peeling paint was taken care of. The garage could not be taken care of. The roof was also repaired, and I had spoken to Mr. Jones, and permit was not needed because it was storm damage, and there was just a small piece of roofing that needed replaced. Since then, I've contacted, because I can't replace, the garage is bigger than I can take care of. I did contact Mr. Stenson on June 23rd. I sent him another picture where the paint had all been taken care of. You can see in the front on the right that the stucco has fallen away. There was a storm, and 2 days after the storm, you can see where all the paint had been repaired, but then that whole section fell away. So the construction, Mr. Bickle there is looking at, because it's just going to all fall away because it's unstable underneath. So it's bigger than I can repair. It has to be professionally fixed. And I talked to Mr. Gutierrez, because it's in the historic district, we have to do plans and go back, and so we're working on it, but it's, yeah.
Okay, so, Mr., is it Bickle?
Yeah.
What have you been hired to do?
So 2 weeks ago, I was contacted by the owner to come out and give a estimate on the garage and the patio. Her and I are working on that, but it is going to be a process. The garage needs extensive repair. We need architectural drawings on it. There's permits to be pulled. The front patio is not safe to walk on. It needs to be fully structurally supported and underneath. So it's quite an undertaking as far as trying to rebuild it. It can be done. So I guess we're just asking for extra time for plans and drawings and permits, but she is working on it, and we are actively
Working on, okay.
You haven't submitted a bid.
No, her and I are trying to figure out what we want to do right now with it.
There's no sense in going 30 days.
No.
Right.
Either 60 or 90.
Either 60 days or a progress report or something.
I
think we, all right. So would you like to make a motion? I mean, obviously it's going to take more than 30 days to fix.
Let's do a progress.
I'm going to do well, first we find it in non-compliance. That's all we're doing now. And then come back with a progress report? Can we do that? Huh?
Yes, what we would recommend is a progress report in like 2 months, and to establish a compliance, an amended compliance date a compliance date at that time, not amended, but just, so if they would come back at the September hearing, give us a progress report, And at that time, we should be able to set a compliance date.
Okay. The chair will entertain a motion to find respondent in noncompliance. And order the respondent to come back with a progress report by 9/4 or at the meeting 9/12. And at that point, we will determine a compliance date. Is there such a motion?
So moved.
Motion, Mr. Harrington, second, Ms. Marsh. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Like sign opposed. Motion carries, I think that's 5-0 because Mr. Gonzalez is not here. Okay, so we'll give you some time to work on this because it's more extensive than we knew. Or than the code knew, but make sure you stay in touch with everybody, get all the permits you need, get everything done the right way.
Are they gonna have to go before the historic reservation?
I
Yes.
don't know.
Yes, according to Mr. Gutierrez, yes.
Two different opinions here.
All right, let's see. Well, all right, if you know you need to do that,
Again, we can hear that at the progress
Sure. But
yeah,
just remind them
at the
that it
progress
exists.
report, so if you need to do that, try and get on their agenda when, as soon as you can. So, because that has to be done first. Okay? Well, I don't know whether first, but it has to be done. Yeah.
You've done this before in historic district, so you know them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I get it.
All right, so we had a motion, second, and we passed it.
Yeah.
So, all right, so we'll see you back here on 9/12. Okay?
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Please stay in touch with Mr. Stenson, let him know what's going on. All right, now, we want to take a few minutes for a break?
Yes.
Okay. Take a break, and then we'll finish. It's just going to be 5 minutes, so. number 25, CEB 07-24-129, Coast to Coast Promotional Marketing LLC.
Need to get attention if you
Hello, we gotta get everybody in here.
He just went to help Mr. Sino down the stairs.
Okay, good. All right, Mr. Sino will be back. Hello.
Hello.
Okay, we can try this again when Mr. Stenson comes back, because it's his case. Is the person here?
Nobody here.
Nobody here. Okay.
Thank you for helping him.
Thank you.
No worries.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go right ahead, Mr. Stenson.
Okay,
Case
224 Zelda.
Yeah,
This was a complaint-driven case for property work being done without permits, meaning the front and
wait a
rear.
minute.
Sorry.
Sorry.
I didn't hear you. It went so quick.
Okay. State your name and address for the record and be sworn in.
It's Daniel Prieto, 224 Zelda Boulevard, Daytona Beach.
Daniel, what's your last name?
Prieto.
Are you a contractor?
No,
You don't live at that property.
no. It's a rental.
Will you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. What's your relation to Coast Promotion?
I'm the owner.
All right, it's a rental property.
Well, it's not a rental. It was supposed to be for a house for me to move in with me and my family.
And?
I think I'm just gonna flip it.
Has it ever been rented?
No,
So you don't need a license yet?
no,
Okay.
no.
No.
It was
you're selling.
abandoned.
Okay.
So
All
we're
right.
vacant now?
Yeah.
Vacant. All right, Mr. Stenson.
Yes, this is a complaint-driven case. Property owner was cited for work without permits, meaning the front and rear porches. Yep, there we go.
That's it?
That's the only violation. Certified notice was received on 22 April of '24. Compliance date was 6 May of 2024.
What's the nature of the property rent front and rear decks?
Well, as you can see right there, the front porch and the rear porch have been reinstalled, installed
Is that a little
without
house in
permits.
the back of another?
I don't
No.
understand the picture.
Okay.
What is the white part on that picture?
That is leading to the front door. You take the steps up to the front door. That blue, I guess that's the garage.
Blue, whatever.
No, that's all one house.
Blue, I'm sorry. It's all one
It's
house.
all one house. It's just I painted it white.
Right,
Try to be a
okay,
little.
that's fine.
Yeah. I get it if you don't like
It
it.
just makes it hard to understand. So where the white is where the front door is. to
Right, that's the
house.
front door. Yep.
Okay, that's fine.
Yes.
And is that a porch?
That's a front porch.
Yes.
Okay, now I get it.
There you go.
That's the back, right? Or
And
No,
that's
it's
the
still
back
front.
porch?
No,
That's
this
the
is-
front porch.
It's still the front. There's
Oh,
not
that's
a,
still the front
Mm-hmm.
porch?
correct. There's not a photograph of the rear porch because that's beyond my sight view.
Okay. So what, Mr. Sensen, what's he need to do?
He needs to obtain the permits and have it inspected and the permits finalized out.
Okay.
And I just got that done. I got the survey done 2 weeks ago. Plans just got here on Monday, and we submitted yesterday for permit.
Okay.
I have a question. Is it a rental or it's not a rental?
No, it's not a rental. No one lives there.
No one lives there.
Okay.
And it's been vacant since the case began.
All right. Well, I just heard him say something about rental, so
I was thinking
Need a
about
car.
renting it, but yeah.
I heard that too.
Sorry, my bad.
Okay, so obviously you need to get the permits, and next
Right.
time you come back, you need to have those, and then, so these are gonna be permits after the fact?
Yes, ma'am.
And it needs to be inspected, so you need to stay in touch with Mr. Stenson,
No problem.
because he's the one that will put you in compliance. Hey, Chair, will entertain a motion to find respondent in non-compliance. In order to respondent come into compliance by the next cutoff date, to be returned to the board for consideration of fine of up to $1,000 a day. Is there such a motion?
Moved.
Motion, Mr. Harrington, second. Second, Ms. Roby, all in favor say aye. Aye. Like sign opposed, motion carries. Case number, so that's it.
Thank you.
And just stay in touch.
Have a good day.
You too. Case 26, CEB 04-24-130, Timothy Cropper. Okay, go ahead.
Yes, ma'am, this is a field-generated case for parking in the front yard with boats and junk vehicles. Certified mail was not received. I posted the property on 2 January 24. Compliance was due on 3 January 24. Multiple re-inspections, the last one being yesterday. Property remains in non-compliance. We're asking for an order of non-compliance and compliance by the next cutoff.
Chair will entertain motion to find respondent in non-compliance or respondent to come into compliance by the next cutoff date to be returned to the board for consideration of fine of up to $1,000 a day. Such a motion?
So moved.
All right.
Second move.
Mr. Harrington, motion. Mr. Gonzalez, second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed. Motion carries. Case 27, CB 0724-132, J. Louise Gates and Michael Gates. No shows. At 222 North Hollywood. Go ahead, Mr. Stinson.
Yes, this is also a complaint-driven case. Property owner was cited for unmaintained landscaping, broken windows, peeling, fading paint, unsecured detached garage. The property certified mail was not responded to. The property was posted on 5 June 2024. Compliance was due on 12 June 2024. The last site visit to this property was yesterday, and the property remains in non-compliance. We're asking for an order of non-compliance and compliance by the next cutoff.
No contacts or anything?
I've had one phone call from this property owner.
Okay.
Is that a typical non-conforming lot for the beachside? It's sort of.
I don't know the answer to that question right now.
Got the garage way over there.
Yeah, it's in the back of the house, detached completely.
Okay.
It's a pretty nice site.
Does anybody live there?
Yes, actually he does.
Owner occupied?
Yes.
Okay. Chair will entertain a motion to find respondent in non-compliance in order to respond to come into compliance by this cutoff date to be returned to the board for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day. Such a motion?
So moved.
Motion, Ms. Roby, second. Second, Ms. Marshall, all in favor say aye. Aye. Like sign opposed, motion carries. Okay. Ms. Kirk, you're up next. Case 28, CEB 0724-98, Mary Jess. That's 608 Cedar. Aha. Good morning. State your name and address for the record and be
Name
sworn
is
in.
Murray Jess, 203 Sunrise Boulevard, DeBerry, Florida.
DeBerry?
Yes.
Okay.
Will you raise your right hand, sir? Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you.
Wow. Okay. Go ahead, Ms. Kirk.
Okay, one second. Let's see. Okay, this is a complaint-generated case that I received in 2022 for unpermitted plumbing, electrical issues, unpermitted roof, outside storage, damaged fence, damaged windows and doors, unsanitary and damaged interior surfaces, trash, debris, no heat, inoperable appliances, inoperable electrical outlets, and extension cords being used as permanent wiring. First notification was March 2nd of 2022. Compliance was due April 2nd, 2022. I visited the property on 6/18/24, still in non-compliance. Staff's recommending a finding of non-compliance with compliance by the next cutoff.
Okay. Are you working on this, Seth?
I got the letter on the 3rd of July. Went to Alabama, and got back on the 9th of this month.
What year?
This month, 24.
Well, you were first notified in 2022. What's been going on since then?
22. I was notified back in 22 for the fence, front door, and
Okay.
I fixed those items, and the inspector lady came out and looked at it.
Well, you need to stay in touch with her and get busy on whatever the stuff is that you need to do.
Okay.
There seems like there's quite a bit that needs to be done. You don't live there. Is somebody living there?
Yes, there's a young lady there. She needed somewhere to go for 3 months.
Uh-huh. So are you renting it to her?
Yes. And
Well, it's not in compliance, and you need to ask Ms. Kirk all the things you need to do to get this into compliance,
exactly.
because it's pretty big. So, you keep working on it and keep showing up and let us know that you're really working on it.
Okay.
Okay. Chair will entertain a motion to find respondent in non-compliance or respondent come into compliance by the next cutoff date, 7/31, or be returned to the board for consideration of fine of up to $1,000 per day. Such a motion?
So moved.
Motion, Mr. Harrington, second. Second, Ms. Roby. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed.
Opposed.
Okay, so just make sure because Ms. Kirk is the one that will put you in compliance. We don't do that.
Okay.
She does, okay?
All right. I thank you.
Good luck. All right, case number 29, CEB 07-24-99, Sunrock Capital. This is at 610 Division. Okay. Good morning. State your name and address for the record.
My name is Grant Barlow. The address in question or the?
No, your address.
My address is 15355 Gilligan Court in Winter Garden, Florida.
Go ahead.
Can you spell your last name for me?
Barlow.
Okay.
Will you raise your right hand?
Yeah.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Wait a minute. Let me just.
Okay, what is your relation to Sunrock Capital?
I'm one of the partners.
50/50 or?
No, there's 4 partners. Yep.
And what kind of company is it?
Sunrock Capital we're a small investment firm. I really run all the day-to-day. The other partners are different friends of mine that I've gathered capital from.
You're not a contractor.
I'm not a contractor at all. Nope. My wife's a realtor and I'm just an entrepreneur. So.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So we'll hear from Ms. Kirk.
Okay, this was a complaint-generated case that I received through the police department for damaged fence, and it's unpermitted fence as well, a HVAC that's unpermitted, and inadequate address numbers. Let's see, and a damaged soffit and trim. First notification was November 21st of 2023. Compliance was due 12/21/23. I visited the property 6/28 of 24. It's still in non-compliance. Staff is recommending a finding of non-compliance with compliance by the September cutoff to allow time for permits.
Okay. Is someone living there?
No, it's vacant.
Vacant?
We have homeless people that move in just about every week, but we do have a non-trespass order
Okay.
that we've applied for, and we continually.
Right on the border with Ormond?
No, this is a couple blocks away from here. It's not far from here. Yeah.
Divisions. Oh, that division street.
Yes.
That division.
That division street. Yep, that's the one.
Okay. Yeah. Are you getting work done? I mean, your permits.
Yeah. So we've done everything that Officer Sarah's asked us to do, besides the permitting portion of it, which I'm really struggling with.
Why?
The contractor that we hired to do the HVAC is just disappeared. He's just ghosting us. He is, based here in Volusia County. Then the contractor that I hired to do the fence is one of my tenants in Titusville, who just needs some extra work. He said he could do it and told me that you didn't need a permit in residential areas, which you don't in Tampa. I do have some rentals in Tampa where you don't.
You do here, right.
But you do here.
Depending on how
And
much
so
the
I
fence gets.
found that out. And then when we first got slapped with the violation, he had actually put the fence in the wrong area as well. And so I hired a survey company to come out and do a survey, asked him to fix it. So he moved the fence, but he didn't do the permit. And now when I pressured him to do the permit, he said he's not licensed to do the permit. So
Ms. Kirk can tell you exactly what you need to do, what you need to get
Right.
permitted, and you need to start
Yeah.
start working on that.
yeah, we've done a lot of work to it. It's
Okay.
surprisingly, it's miles better than it was. I promise you that. So if
We
we could,
appreciate the fact
yeah.
that you're trying to fix it up, but it has to be
Yeah.
done according to the
Yep.
rules in.
No, I agree.
In Daytona Beach, not
Yeah.
in Tampa. Okay.
Yep.
So the chair will entertain a motion to find respondent in non-compliance or respondent come into compliance by the next cutoff date, 7/31/2024, be returned to the board for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day.
Madam Chair,
Go ahead.
I would like to have a quick discussion before we vote.
Go ahead.
The previous case had a lot more issues to accomplish.
Uh-huh.
We gave them 30 days.
Right?
This one, we're talking about 60 days,
No.
and they have less.
I don't-
They have less things to do. So I'm just trying to see.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know,
I
all
don't think
fairness
that
and
was the case. I mean, 7/31 is the next meeting, is 8/8.
Well, this one, the recommendation is September.
No. Who said that?
I did. I asked
Oh,
for the September cutoff.
Excuse me, I'm sorry.
Just because he's having issues with the contractors, so to give a little bit of extra time. I don't see it, coming into compliance and getting a contractor and after the fact permit finalized within 30 days,
Do
so.
you pay your contractors before they do their work?
I don't. We usually pay a deposit and then, a progress payment. On this one, I had a gentleman working for me who actually is the one that purchased the property. He was like a sales agent that purchased the property. And he's the one that got the AC done. And it was kind of his guy. And that's a lesson learned for me. But that's, he's been paid and he's gone off. I don't know where he's at and we can't reach him. So. And then I've made 50 plus phone calls here in Volusia County to find a contractor that will do an after the fact permit. And I am struggling with that. Nobody wants to touch it.
He'll walk you
So,
through what
yeah,
you
I,
need to do for that.
And I've also had contact with him as well, whereas the case prior, no contact. So that's a difference for me, just to answer your question, Mr. Gonzalez.
Okay.
I don't think the fence is going to be difficult. I think I can figure that out. I thought I had somebody that was going to do it. Unfortunately, in Volusia County, as a LLC, I'm not allowed to pull my own permits. If it was just in my own personal name, I could just pull the fence permit and be done with it.
Right, we get it.
But the HVAC system is a really tough one. Nobody wants to touch it, and I don't know how to overcome this hurdle. I'm trying to find a general contractor or an HVAC contractor that's willing to go in and just inspect the work and make any changes they want to make or just sign off on it. But nobody, they all say, well, if I haven't touched it, then I don't want to be involved. So
All right.
I'm
So-
struggling with that.
Okay.
mean,
Well, we don't have a motion yet, so if you want to make, what
Yeah.
motion would you
Sure.
like to make?
Yes. I would like to make the motion in the case of CEB
Sorry,
0724.
understand. Apologize.
Excuse me, I'm making a motion.
Sorry.
CEB 0724-99, Sunrock Capital LLC, that they're found to be in non-compliance and that they come into compliance by our next meeting.
Okay.
Otherwise face a fine
Okay.
of, I guess,
$1,000 per day.
$1,000 per day.
All right. Mr. Gonzalez has made a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second, Mr. Harrington. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed. Motion carries. Just stay in touch. Do what you need to
Okay.
do. It'll get fixed. Okay. case number 30, CB 07-24-101, ASP Ready Chem, LLC.
Madam Chair, there is a typo there where it says the action to be taken to impose fine. It should not be there.
Okay. Oh, I see.
It's an accident. Yeah.
Yep. So go ahead.
Okay, this is a complaint-generated case for overgrown landscaping, which looks like they've completed it. Exterior peeling paint, dirt and grime, damaged fence, broken light fixture on the front of the home, and no rental license. First notification was March 9th of 2024. Compliance was due April 9th of 2024. Site visit was conducted yesterday, July 10th of 2024. It's still in non-compliance. Staff's recommending a finding of non-compliance with compliance due by the next cutoff.
Okay. Chair will entertain a motion to find respondent in non-compliance or respondent committed to compliance by the next cutoff date or be returned to the board for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day. Such a motion?
So moved.
Motion, Mr. Harrington, second. Mr. Gonzalez, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed. Motion carries. Case number 31, CB 07-24-124, Jamie Matthews and Amy Lynn. No shows.
No, I'm here.
Oh, there you are. I'm sorry, we didn't have down that it was a Zoom. Okay. All right. Good morning. State your name and address for the record.
I'm Amy Lynn Hawk Matthews, 575 Live Oak Avenue, Daytona Beach, Florida, 32114.
Okay.
Will you raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm that the testimony about provided is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
All right, we'll hear from Ms. Kirk. Go ahead.
Okay, this is a complaint-driven case for outside storage, no permit for sheds, and no permit for fencing. First notification was March 5th of 2024. Compliance was due April 5th, 2024. I visited the property yesterday, 7/10/2024, still in non-compliance. Staff's recommending a finding non-compliance with compliance due by the next cutoff.
Okay, so you don't have a permit for the fencing or the sheds, is that right?
So the fence company, they did finally get the permit in rears. When they gave me the invoice, they said that they were getting the permit, it would be included in what I paid, but apparently they didn't do that. So they've now gotten that permit. I've also taken care of, we got rid of one of the sheds because I guess we had one too many. So one of them is gone. The gazebo out front is gone. The fence out front's been cut down to 4 feet. And the other 2 sheds, everything's been approved. I just have to come up with the money to pay for the permits now.
Okay. All right. So, good you're working on it. Please stay in touch with Ms. Kirk.
Could I ask a quick question?
Yeah. Go ahead.
So I'm fully disabled, and although my husband works, we don't make much money. I was trying to figure out if there was a way for me to do a payment plan on the 2 permits because it's like $400
Yeah,
total.
she won't be able to answer that for you. You will have to ask permits and licensing what they can do for you.
Okay.
That's all I can tell you about that, but I don't think that's a question for the code officer. But stay in touch with her anyway so she can tell you what you need to do. And
Okay.
when you get it done, let her know.
Okay.
But that would be a question for the permits and licensing department.
Okay.
All right. Chair will entertain a motion to find respondent in non-compliance or respondent come into compliance by the next cutoff date, 7/31, or be returned to the board for consideration of fine of up to $1,000 per day. Such a motion? That was Ms. Roby. Second, Mr. Harrington. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed. Case number 32 is in compliance. That's CEB 07-24-125 Rose Irons. We are on case number 33, CEB 07-24-105. Mr. Garcia.
Yeah, Inspector Garcia credentials on file.
No one here? Okay. Go ahead.
634. This case was field generated for the violations of a trailer parked on the front yard. The owner was actually here. She had to leave, but she did tell me that she moved it. I believe it was yesterday.
Okay.
So when I'm done with the hearing, I'll pass over there and
Good.
check it out. So we're just finding it non-compliance,
Right.
compliance by next cutoff.
Okay. Chair will entertain, any questions? Chair will entertain a motion to find respondent in non-compliance or respondent come into compliance by the next cutoff date, July 11th, 2024, or be returned to the board for consideration of fine of up to $1,000 per day. Such a motion?
Move.
Madam Chair,
Second.
July 31st. You said July 11th.
31st, what did I say?
July 11th.
Oh, okay, July 1st. Okay, who made the motion? Mr.
second.
Harrington, second. Mr. Gonzalez, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed, motion carries. Case number 34, CEB 07-24-106, Constance and Joshua Hanlon, they're here. Cool. Good morning.
Morning.
State your name and address for the record.
Constance Hanlon, 907 Avery Street, Daytona Beach, Florida, 32114. And it's my son.
Joshua Hanlon, same address.
Okay. You be sworn in, please.
Will you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony about the provided is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Garcia.
Yeah, this case was field generated for parking on the grass, missing flashing, sandbags on the roof, no permit for the fence, dirt and grime on the exterior surfaces. The notice was certified on March 14, 2024 for a compliance due date of April 14, 2024. My last site inspection was on July 1st, 2024. Staff recommending a finding of non-compliance, compliance by next cutoff. I did speak to the owner today for the first time, and she stated that she applied for a permit. So I explained to her about the process and making sure she just gets the final afterwards.
Okay.
Okay.
You know what you need to do?
Yes, actually, I was first cited in March, and that I got on it right away. I did all the infractions. The mistake I made was I wasn't able to get in touch with him to tell him that I had taken care of everything except for the fence, which I've done since 2 weeks ago. So that was my fault, I guess, partly, because I couldn't get in touch with him to tell him.
It says you need a permit for the fence. Do you have that?
Well, actually, I went with Arrow Fence, and I did ask them at the time, and they said that would apply if needed, and I did ask him that. And then when he went on with the job, I made the assumption that everything was taken care of. I only found out after the fact when, he told me I need a permit, which has been taken care of. I have the, I'm going to check on that when I leave here, actually. I have the permit number here on my phone.
Okay.
So it is underway. And I just wanted to say that I rented the place for 11 years, and the only time the screens are out or any kind of disrepair is on the house is from the hurricanes. We're both school teachers. We live paycheck to paycheck. We don't get very much money. It's just the two of us. But I am doing what I can.
Good.
I have a list here of everything I have completed, which I had already completed before Mark looked at it in April. So imagine my surprise when I was told to come to a hearing, because I had already taken care of everything within the first week with a fellow from the neighborhood that did it for me. So.
Yeah, you have to stay in touch with Mr. Garcia. That's
Right,
let him
then
know.
he would
He'll-
have known.
Yeah.
Well, I kind of thought they were just gonna drive by the house and see, oh, she took care of everything and
Right,
everything was
no,
fine.
it
I
gets
didn't
more-
know
yeah.
the routine of all this.
Right,
But very quickly, I'll tell you, I did above and beyond. I repainted the entire house. That's all new paint.
Okay.
And then I repaired the screen because that was tattered. There was a 4-foot missing board, which was replaced last night. I just haven't got a chance to paint it yet. I did apply for the
So
permit.
if someone do you live there?
Me and my son.
Yeah, we both live there.
Oh, you both live there, because
Yeah,
what were you talking about renting it?
I rented it with my boys for 11 years.
And then we bought it from the owner,
We
and
bought
when we
it.
bought it, it was
It was in compliance
in
when we
code.
bought it,
Right.
and then the hurricane took it out of
Oh, yeah.
compliance,
Okay.
the last
All right.
hurricane that we
Well, you
had.
just need, all you need to do, and we appreciate the fact that you did all that work on the house and you're getting it done, is have Mr. Garcia come over and inspect it when you're ready, and he's the one that puts you in compliance. We don't
Okay.
put you in compliance unless we, vehemently disagree with what somebody's telling us.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. I explained to her that she just needs a final for the permit that she needed for the fence.
Right.
Once she gets the final, she didn't know that she thought I did the inspection. I told her that a building inspector would do it.
Right.
And
a
then
building
she can call me.
inspector does the permit finally.
Correct.
The rest of the code violations,
Correct.
it would be Mr. Garcia's domain. So
Okay.
just stay in touch with him.
So let him know. I am going to check on that when I leave today.
Okay, good. Thank you.
And we, what was I going to say?
Well, I had a question about the gate. Are we required to have the gate put there? Because we were only able to do that much fence because of money constraints.
Oh, you can see, I couldn't
So-
afford the 12-foot swing gate just yet, and he said he was going to let me make payments on it once he did put it in, but I imagine that needs a permit as well? The 12-foot swing gate that's going to be put in it?
They can contact permits and license about that, and they could probably tie that into that same permit.
Okay.
Oh, it could be the same?
Yeah.
Correct.
Oh, that would be good.
Okay,
That would
good.
be good.
All right. Chair will entertain a motion to find respondent in non-compliance or respondent committed to compliance by the next cutoff date, 7/31, or be returned to the board for consideration of fine of up to $1,000 per day. Such a motion? Motion, Ms. Roby, second. Second, Mr. Harrington. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Like, sign, opposed. Motion.
I'd like to,
So will the permit be in by 19 days?
I don't know.
I'd like to commend you
What's that?
on your fantastic presentation of having everything in
Oh,
line.
that's the teacher in
for
us.
We don't often get that, and it really helps your case and makes things run smooth. I'm very pleased.
Oh, we've
that
been
you've done that.
sleeping and breathing this little note in my hand.
Yeah, we're trying to
We do
avoid the
ca-
fines
we
as much
do
as
care.
possible.
We
Well,
care.
you're not getting
Yeah.
fined today, and, you continue to make progress like this and show us that you're making progress, and Mr. Garcia is happy, we're good with that.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Case number 35, CEB 07-24-107, Philip Hankins. Mr. Hankins here? Here comes Mr. Hankins.
I need my card.
Okay, this property was field generated.
He's coming. State your name and address for the record.
Philip Don Hankins, New Smyrna Beach, Florida.
New Smyrna?
Yes.
Okay.
Will you raise your right hand, sir? Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, we'll hear from Mr. Garcia. Is this a rental property?
No, ma'am. My daughter was living in it. She got someone to stay, so I'm moving in the property when I get through fixing it up. Now. I live with my mother now.
All right,
Can you
we're
step
going
up to the
talk
podium?
Mr.
Can you
Huh?
step up to the?
There you go.
Yeah.
You can lean on it if you need to.
Yeah,
All right,
thank you.
let's hear what Mr. Garcia has to say.
This case was field generated for dirt, grime, parking on the grass, trash and debris, damaged garage door, and it was for no rental, but he's stating that it's not. So we'll just have to get an affidavit stating that he's not renting. I'll get that from him. I'll give him the.
Yeah, you just have to have something signed that says you're not.
The certified notice was signed on March 6, 2024. Compliance due date was April 6, 2024. And the last site inspection was done on June 29, 2024. Staff's recommending a finding of non-compliance, compliance by next cutoff.
Okay. So, you know what you need to do. You're not renting it. Stay in touch with Mr. Garcia,
Yes, ma'am.
okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Dirt and grime, vehicles in yard, trash and debris. What have you done so far?
I got the trash all moved out. I'm finna go cut the grass and leave here.
Okay. All right, well, just
Yes, ma'am.
stay in touch with Mr. Garcia, so you have to do, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
To come into compliance, because he's the one that's gonna do it.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Chair will entertain a motion to find respondent in non-compliance or respondent come into compliance by the next cutoff date, 7/31/2024, be returned to the board for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day. Such a motion?
So moved.
Motion, Mr. Gonzalez, second. Second, was that Ms. Marsh? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed. Motion carries. Case 36, CEB. So that's it. Just stay in touch with them. Do what you can get done. Case 36, CEB 07-24-108, Joanna Smith. Good. Come on up.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Joanna Smith, 608 Tomoka Road, 32114.
Will you raise your right hand, ma'am? Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. And you can
Okay.
step up a little bit closer. There you go.
Go ahead, Mr. Garcia.
Okay, this case was field generated. Violations for outside storage, peeling paint, dirt on the exterior surfaces. Certified receipt was signed on March 6, 2024 for compliance due date on April 6, 2024. Last visited the property on July 8th, 2024. Staff's recommending a finding of non-compliance, compliance by next cutoff.
Okay, you know what you need to do?
Yes, ma'am. I'm working on it.
Okay, that's good. We're glad to hear that. So, what have you done?
I cleaned the pressure clean the driveway.
Okay.
I've contacted contractors to close in the storage. It's my carport. The way it's set up, it's my washer, dryer, and hot water heater.
Oh?
It was like that when I bought the home.
Yeah.
So I'm like, everybody put their washer and dryer in their carport. What am I supposed to do? I tried to get assistance from Daytona Beach, but I haven't been able to get any. I called Community Development, Habitat for Humanity, Midtown. So I'm working. But at the moment, I'm financially and physically disabled to do any, unable to do any of this.
Well, you need to ask Mr. Garcia what's available, what you can do to get this work done. That's all.
I have communicated with, we have
Yeah,
communicated.
Okay,
I've
good.
spoken to her. At this time, there's no programs are out there right now to assist her, but I explained to her that she wants to get close in the carport, which is going to require a permit, and that's not on the violation. So I was explaining to get this in compliance, all she needed to take care of was the outside storage and then the peeling
I
paint.
don't have any place in the house to put it. It's only 16 square feet. And that hot water heater is gas.
Well, there's nothing on there about that. For this
It's,
case,
it's a storage, it's a outside storage.
I believe there was other things. This was a case that was transferred to me.
That's the only thing I have outside.
Yeah.
Other
Well-
than my car.
We'll talk about it.
all right.
We'll get it.
So
We'll help you out.
You talk about it with him because he will be the one that will put you into compliance.
Okay, thank
Okay.
you. It's been a
Carolyn,
learning
anything?
experience.
Yeah. I know.
72 years old, it's always something you can learn, right?
That's right. Chair will entertain a motion to find respondent non-compliance or respondent come into compliance by the next cutoff date or be returned to the board for consideration of fine of up to $1,000 a day. Such a motion?
4105.
Motion, Ms. Roby, second, Ms.
point.
Marshall, in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed, motion carries. Case number 37, CEB 07-24-109, TSTE LLC, Pleasant Street. DD, I don't know what all those things are. Is that person here? I guess these are just LLC 02-219. I don't know what that is. The address is 410 Pleasant Street. We know that. Okay, go ahead, Mr. Garcia.
Okay, this was a citizen's complaint for buckling siding and wood rot on the fascia and parking on the grass. The certified notice was signed on March 4th, 2024, and the compliance date was April 4th, 2024. I last visited the property on July 8th, 2024 for finding of non-compliance, compliance by next cutoff. And it's actually unsecured, and
Okay,
vacant?
Yeah, well, I did see two people walking down the block, and they both happened to go in there. So, and it has no electric because that picture right there shows that the meter on the side is missing.
So they might be squatters?
Correct. I mean, you know, you can see the windows are open. They came through the front door. It was a rental at one time because this, I believe it was brought, I did have it at the hearing once before for overgrown grass, and they came in compliance at that time. But I haven't got any contact from the owner.
Yes, if it is vacant and we're having a possibility of transients, if you would like to also order that it be secured to city standards by next cutoff,
All right.
or the city may need to take some action.
Standards, ugh.
All right, Chair will entertain a motion to find respondent non-compliance and order the respondent to come into compliance by the next cutoff date or be returned to the board, which is 7/31, or be returned to the board for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day.
And to secure.
And further, be secured to city standards.
So moved.
Motion, Mr. Gonzalez, second. Second, Ms. Roby, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Like sign opposed, motion carries.
I'd really.
Okay. We're fine, and we still have a quorum. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We still have a quorum. Okay.
For the record, reflect we still have a quorum.
Yes, we do have a quorum. We can continue. Yeah, and we're going to continue. Case number 38. CEB 07-24-110, Adeyemi Abel. Okay?
This case was field generated for unmaintained landscaping, dirt, grime, peeling paint, unpermitted shed, trash and debris, damaged missing fencing, missing window screens, damaged front door, and address numbers, and no rental license. The certified letter was signed for on March 13, 2024. Compliance due date April 13, 2024. My last site inspection was on July 1st, 2024 for a finding of non-compliance, compliance by next cutoff.
Anybody living there?
No, and it is unsecured. It's in bad shape. It's right next door from the other case that we had just recently.
Yeah.
So
632 Tomoka. All right. Chair will entertain a motion to find, now, have you had any contact?
no contact.
Do we need to secure this too?
Yes.
Chair will entertain a motion to find respondent non-compliance or respondent come into compliance by the next cutoff date, 7/31/2024, be returned to the board for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 a day, and further states that it must be secured to city standards. That's a motion?
So moved.
Motion, Ms. Roby, second, Ms. Marsh, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed, motion carries. Case number 39, CEB 07-24-112, Jeremiah Van Larson. Okay. Go ahead.
This was a citizen's complaint for no rental license, wood rot on the exterior wall, trim, fascia, and the shed, unpermitted fence, damaged screens, damaged rear door, damaged gutters, cracks in the walls and ceiling, leaks under the kitchen sink, electrical hazard, and exterior siding of the house.
Is this occupied?
Yes, it is.
Is it rented?
Yes.
So it was tenant complaint or someone else?
This was a case that was transferred to me also. I think Mark Jones, did you get in this?
Yeah, this would have been a tenant complaint for us to be inside the property.
Okay.
I haven't been able to, I've posted it and I've left notices at the door so I can gain access and even go to the back to see the damages that were, the pictures that were taken by Mr. Jones. And I have not gotten hold of anybody. And there's been a car in the lot, but
No
no answer.
contact then, no.
No contact.
Okay.
So staff's recommending finding of non-compliance, compliance by next cutoff.
Chair will entertain a motion to find respondent non-compliance or respondent come into compliance by the next cutoff date, 7/31/24, or be returned to the board for consideration of fine of up to $1,000 per day.
So moved.
Motion, Mr.
Second.
Gonzalez, second, who was that? Mr. Harrington, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed, motion carries. Case number 40, CEB 07-24-113, Florida LLC, 336 Fulton. Good morning. State your name and address for the record, please.
James Lopiano, 5211 West Washington Street, Orlando, Florida, 32811.
Your last name again, can you spell it for me?
Lopiano, L-O-P-I-A-N-O.
No. From Orlando. Okay. Mr. Garcia.
Will you, Mr. Lapani, will you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
This is a citizen's complaint for outside storage, wood rot, peeling paint, parking on the grass, trash debris, no address numbers, and missing flashing. The notice was posted on April 29, 2024. The compliance due date was May 29, 2024, and my last inspection was on July 10th, 2024, finding it in non-compliance, compliance by next cutoff. This is the first time I've spoken to the owner. You can see in the photos some of the issues that the property is still overgrown. There's some wood rot on the right corner of the building, and there is no cars on the property anymore. So that's the only violation that's been corrected. And some minor peeling paint here and there. And as you can see, the numbers.
What needs to be done,
Yes,
sir?
I do.
You
Is
see-
this rented?
No, it's vacant and it's going to be sold after the repairs.
Okay.
And those numbers there, they just have to be the different color than what it is. It's been painted over the same color.
Yes.
Okay. All right, Chair will entertain a motion to find respondent non-compliance or respondent come into compliance by the next cutoff date and be returned to the board for consideration of fine of up to $1,000. Next cutoff date is 7/31. Such a motion?
So moved.
Motion, Ms. Roby, second, Ms. Marshall. In favor, say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed, motion carries. When you get these things all done, just call Mr. Garcia and he'll come and put you into compliance.
Yes.
If that's what you need done, and then you won't have to come back.
Yes, thank
Okay,
you.
cool.
I'll reach out.
Okay,
Okay.
thanks.
Have a good day.
Thanks.
Case number 41, CB 07-24-114, Einer Leiva Lopez. No show. Go ahead.
This was a citizen's complaint for unpermitted door, pavers, parking on the grass, no address numbers, outside storage. The certified letter was signed on December 11, 2023. The compliance due date was December 21, 2023, and the site inspection was done, the last site inspection was done on July 1st, 2024, for a finding of non-compliance, compliance by next cutoff. They do have a permit issued. It was issued on February 27, 2024, but it failed on April 10, 2024, and there's also a balance due of $56.35. So I think that's one of the things that's holding them up. And they also still have outside storage. It's in the rear.
So there's still plenty to do.
Yeah, they've paved it in what?
Contact with you?
No contact. The only time I was one time on the property, which is this fellow right here. So it looks like this right now.
The rental property?
I don't have it down as a rental.
All right, Chair will entertain a motion to find respondent in non-compliance or respondent to come into compliance by the next cutoff date, 7/31/2024, or be returned to board for consideration fine of up to $1,000 per day. Such a motion?
So moved.
Motion, Mr. Gonzalez, second.
Second.
Second, Ms. Roby, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed, motion carries. Case number 42, CEB 07-24-. Sir, what case are you? 45. Come on up, let's get this done.
Said you weren't going to jump anymore.
I know, well, I can't stand to see one person sit there. Okay. All right. Go ahead, state your name and address for the
Louis.
record and be sworn in.
Louis Della Camera, 558 North Ridgewood Avenue, Daytona Beach, 32114.
Will you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
All right, this is case 45, CB 07-24-118. Okay. Go ahead, Mr., oh, no rental license. So this is a rental property?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Go ahead, Mr. Garcia.
Okay, this was field generated for outside storage, dirt and grime, damaged fascia, soffit, and for not having a rental license. The certified letter was signed on February 29, 2024. The compliance due date was March 29, 2024. And the last reinspection was on July 10, 2024 for a finding of non-compliance, compliance by next cutoff. And
Understand what needs to be
Yes,
done,
yes,
sir?
ma'am, I do.
These-
The only thing I ask respectfully, if I could have 60 days, because by the time I get the rental license in order, it'll probably take that period of time.
What
Most
have
of
you,
it,
have you done anything since you were notified?
there should have been cleanup on the front. I had someone that was supposed to do it. I had not been by to see it myself.
these are yesterday's pictures.
These are yesterday's pictures. No, ma'am, there appears to be nothing done so far.
Well,
But that will,
let's have you back next month and let's see what's done.
I will do so.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Have a good day, everyone.
Thank you. Chair will entertain motion to find respondent in non-compliance and would just, and or respondent come into compliance by the next cutoff date, July 31st, or be returned to the board for consideration of fine of up to $1,000 per day. Such a motion?
So moved.
Motion, Mr. Gonzalez, second. Second, Ms. Marshall, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed, motion carries. It would be better if you probably kept in touch with Mr. Garcia and drove by the property yourself
more
once in a
often, yes.
while.
Thank
Okay,
you.
good.
I'm going there now.
Okay.
You'll get the murder report in a little bit.
Uh,
Okay.
41,
42.
42.
Yeah, we're on case number 42. Back page. CEB 07-24-115, China Master Holdings LLC. Go ahead, Mr. Garcia.
This case was generated by the citizen complaint for outside storage, overgrown landscaping, dirt and grime, vehicles on the grass, trash and debris, damaged fence, sheds, and no address numbers and no rental license.
No contact?
Yes, I have. I've had contact with the owner out of town. I've had contact with the property manager, and I've also had contact with the tenants.
And anything?
They tried to correct the situation by removing the chain link fence in the front and putting up a brand new fence. When I found that during my inspection, found that they put this new fence up, I explained to them that they put it up without a permit and that it wasn't even allowed. So I spoke to the owner, the property manager, and the people putting them up and told them they needed to remove it and also to get with permits and licensing about needing a permit if they plan on putting up the 4-foot again. And also to clean the only thing they did was corrected the parking issue.
Okay. Chair will entertain a motion to find respondent non-compliance or respondent come into compliance by the next cutoff date, July 31st, to be returned to the board for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day. Such a motion? Motion,
Yes.
Ms. Roby, second. Was that you?
Ms. Marsh.
Oh, Ms. Marsh, second.
Mr. Gonzalez.
Mr. Gonzalez, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed. So you said these people are from out of town. How far?
Yeah, there's a I forget where it was,
continent?
but there's a language barrier. The owners are Asian, and the people living on the property are Spanish. So I was able to, talk to them, and then they said that they would start correcting it right after I left.
Okay, we'll see. All right. Case 43 is in compliance. Case 44, CEB 07-24-117. Joseph Leonard Rissy. That is at 1158 Hampton. Go ahead, Mr. Garcia.
This is a citizen complaint. Violations outside storage, unmaintained landscaping, wood rot on the fascia and soffit, parking on the grass, trash and debris, damaged fence and shed, dirt and grime, no rental license, no BTR. The certified letter was posted on March 13, 2024 for a compliance due date of April 13, 2024, and my last inspection was on July 8, 2024, finding the property in non-compliance. Compliance by next cutoff. No contact.
I will say, Madam Chair, if I may,
Mm-hmm.
relatively new information. The owner in this case is deceased. They do have an active probate case, and they do have an order appointing a personal representative. So we will want to make sure we would get in touch with the personal representative and
Okay.
see where we go from there.
Should we go 60 days?
Probably. I mean, they had another property where they were given authorization to sell, so maybe they're going to use those funds. I don't know, but it's just from the record. But we'll have to so allowing that little bit of time, it seems like they've been diligently at least working through the probate process, so they seem like people who may be.
Yeah, there was a posting by Mark Jones where there was a slight change on the front. They cleaned up a little, and then the next posting was the one that I did right here on the tree that I haven't heard from.
So what's your recommendation, 1 or 2 months?
I'll give them the extra month.
Okay. Chair will entertain a motion to find respondent non-compliance or respondent to come into compliance by 9/4/2024, be returned to the board for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day.
So moved.
Ms. Roby, motion, Ms. Marsh, second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed. Motion carries. Now, before we get to the rental discussion, there's a miscellaneous business.
I'm sorry. I was talking to him. I didn't hear. How much time did you give? For the
9/4.
9/4? Okay, thank you.
We do 46.
Yeah, we're doing CEB 0 from under miscellaneous business,
No.
number 7.
46 is in compliance.
Yeah. 40.
July.
I'm sorry, 46 is in compliance.
So we're doing the miscellaneous.
CEB 0524-78. I'm hoping this is just to amend the order. What happened?
Yeah, this is just a correction to be made to change it to $100 a day, cap at 10,000.
Instead of 50, I assume it was made for 15.
Correct.
Okay. Chair will entertain a motion to amend the previous board's order to reflect $100 per day to a maximum of 10,000.
So
Such a motion to amend, Mr. Gonzalez, second. Second, Ms. Marshall, in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, that's it, except for the rental discussion.
Yeah, 20 minutes, June.
Yeah, 20 minutes, we're all leaving.
Before we move into that, I have a question for the lawyers.
Okay.
Because this the case that came up where the gentleman had died and the nephew seems to be held responsible for fixing the problems and facing the fine.
Whoever owns the property.
One more.
Well, that's my question. How do we know that the nephew owns the property?
Oh, it's in probate.
No, that one, I asked that question if it was in probate.
It wasn't this,
No.
this today, right?
Yeah, it was today.
It was?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it wasn't that last case.
No.
Oh, okay.
Here, let me,
I
I
was
may-
talking about the last
I
case.
think I made a note of which one.
Well, it should be public record if it's probate, right?
Yeah, if it's not a probate, it's still,
Thank you.
Oh, we get a little.
we're not holding the,
Thank you, ma'am.
unidentified owner or undefined owner
Right.
responsible, holding
Good, how you doing?
whoever has
Thank you.
an interest in the property.
Right.
He appears to be one interested party as an heir. I think
You don't
he
need
came forward as an heir.
Oh.
Right? That was one we had the list of heirs, but we didn't have an owner. I mean, we didn't have
No, this is the.
we didn't have a probate. We had like 4 owners listed.
No, this is one, the nephew. The guy died. The only one that's been staying in the house is the nephew. And so we cited him.
No, we didn't cite him. We cited the property.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
we cited the owner and the property.
Well, that's the part
Right.
that my question comes in. But
Yeah.
the owner is dead.
Okay, we cited the owner of the property. Upon
Right.
determination of the owner being deceased,
Yeah.
whoever has legal interest would be the one. We by posting and the various things we do, we
Right.
give notice to whoever has ownership interest. At
Okay.
least that's my perspective.
Right.
Casino may have more for you.
Oh, you did good. Okay. She's fine.
All right, Miss June, welcome.
Thank you.
Sorry it took us so long. I just couldn't get through it.
No worries. Some of you know me. For those that don't, and for the record, my name is June Barnes. I'm the rental program coordinator. Just a little background on the rental program. The state licenses and inspects anything that has 5 units or more. And the city, wanting our rental properties to meet minimum requirements, inspects and has licensed anything with 4 units and below. I've given you some additional information here. We have 3 inspectors that cover the city. When I came to this job in 2021, we had 1,417 rental licenses. We now have 1,951. So we're building it. We know that there's still a lot out there. All the code guys and our guys are working every day to try to find them, and do that. But I'm here to answer any questions that you have.
First of all, okay, I do have a question. How proactive is the state in doing the 5 units or more?
I hear multiple things. Sometimes I hear that they are on it, and sometimes I hear that they don't do anything. But I've never encountered anyone that actually has been inspected
And so
by
what
the state.
happens when the 5 or more units get inspected by the state?
Well, they get inspected by the state, which is the Department of Business and Professional Regulations.
Okay.
And should be the similar codes, the same kind of codes that we're
Right.
looking for. We're looking for smoke detectors. We're looking for window screens, GFCIs in the bathroom. If you provide a stove and a refrigerator, we make sure it works.
Where do they go to court, or where do they go to a code board or whatever board, the department?
Tuesdays.
Oh,
State.
yeah, for anything 4 units and below that requires a rental license, we have our magistrate.
But where, do you know where, Tony?
Yeah,
Goes when?
there's actually 2 things. One is in relationship to your question. The question is, will they get a license? Or are they operating without a license?
Right.
If they're operating without a license, then I'm sure there's some administrative, I don't know what the board is, but because it's through the state
So we base-
CBPR.
Okay.
But what we don't want to get confused with is they're not getting waived for actual violations of the Florida Building Code or the International Property Maintenance Code or those codes. So if we're informed of a violation, or if we know of an actual violation, we're still citing violations.
Yes, and they are still
We have
required.
jurisdiction for that. We just don't have
Well-
jurisdiction to authorize a rental license. in those circumstances.
But we
and-
can bring them before the code board?
Well, they're obligated to get a business tax receipt.
Right.
With they have 5 units or more, and they do fire inspection and some safety inspections when they obtain the business tax receipt.
You know, it used to be, I remember when the fire inspector used to come here and report to us on the buildings that he actually inspected that were more than 4 units. And I don't know what happened to him, but it was helpful. It seemed to me that the state has become less, it's not your problem, but the state's become less proactive, but it's good to know that we still have control of those we can cite them for code violations,
Yes.
even
Still have jurisdictional.
if they're, what does that mean?
Oh, that if we're determined that there's a violation of the code, not a
Okay.
violation of rental, but just a violation of
Okay.
the state building codes or
The state, okay.
we can still.
But you can't go in and inspect.
Well, they do inspect. A business tax receipt is required
Right.
for every business tax, for every 5+ unit. And they do inspections for fire inspections. And I think they do a few other safety things, but it's mainly a fire inspection.
And that is done through the building department, permits and licensing.
Okay.
The building department issues the business tax receipt, and then they have their inspector who goes out. I mean, that's their responsibility to go out and do a preliminary, but they are not looking for the same, window screens and things like this. They're dealing more on the safety side. But they do complete a inspection. And we handle in code if there's rotten fascia, unmaintained landscaping, outside storage, any of those code issues is still handled by the code inspectors
As a commercial property.
as commercial property.
What we're not doing is if we went in there and for some reason we knew, which generally we probably wouldn't even know, but if we knew that they didn't have a rental authorization, that's an authorization that has to come from the state. It's not ours.
Okay.
We don't have the jurisdiction for that. So we can find everything else wrong, but we can't say, okay, you don't have a rental license, so we can, quote, shut you down.
But we do,
The state,
excuse me, we do interior inspections when we get a tenant that complains, whether it's 5 units or more. The code inspector comes in and would inspect the interior of that unit,
Okay.
and anything that he or she sees along the way would be written up.
So the reason, go ahead. And then I'll,
Mark, you explain when it comes here, when it comes to this master differences. Dealing with cases.
Yeah, the cases at the inspection.
okay, I know what Charlie's asking, it was with the first question when we first came to when you wanted a presentation, that was the fact that now you're starting to see rental cases and you weren't seeing them before.
Right.
So that's kind of what they wanted to know.
Well, one reason is because, we changed sort of the manager of the department now, and his policies run more along the line of educating people toward compliance as opposed to just writing them up, without any guidance. The other thing is we used to run cases concurrently. So we would run rental license one and a code one. And now the code enforcement officers handle anything that has additional violations, and we only handle failure to obtain a business or rental property license. And that includes all those violations. It's just the one violation for not getting a license. It includes all the individual violations, but it doesn't. And so when they have their cases, they now include failure to obtain the rental license if there are other outside violations. And I did hear someone earlier today tell you that they couldn't get their license because they were waiting on a rental inspection. But now we wait until all the code violations are in compliance before we go in to do a rental inspection. So that's the last thing that gets done. The code inspector makes sure that all the violations that they've written them up for, except failure to get a license, is done, and then we go do our inspection.
But
And-
you could come up with more things then.
Correct. There could definitely be more things when we enter the property, because a lot of times they're outside violations, and we may come up with a whole lot of more things.
So those would be code violations. and
Right.
It would come back then as a code case.
Correct, and they would have to correct those in order to pass
Mhm.
the rental inspection and get the rental license.
Okay.
Question.
Wait a minute, Mr. Harrington wanted to talk about 5 minutes ago. Go ahead.
I think I already figured out what it means. Single ownership means you're referring to an apartment building with one unit that has a rental.
Yes, yes, single family home or single unit. Uh-huh. Yes. It's basically, it's based on who can live there. It's a single unit, a single family unit.
Yeah, I'm concerned with the I live in a condo.
Uh-huh.
More and more people are buying condos to rent them out.
Uh-huh.
And they're supposed to get permission from the condo
Right.
association to rent them. And we
Right.
don't do that, and then we find out somebody suddenly moved in here. I mean, the
Right.
whole state's screwed up when it comes to
That's correct. But only one family can live there. They can't rent rooms. If you rent rooms, you're a hotel or a motel or a bed and breakfast, and that's a business and has to go through business tax, unless you're legal non-conforming, which means that you've already have the existing use of something other than what the area is zoned as. If it's zoned as single family, you can only have one household. That means now up to 6 unrelated individuals.
That's the catch.
Correct.
That's the
And-
catch, because you
correct.
get all
Well,
the
there were
every-
7
every-
in that
every
one.
rental situation.
Right. And that changed last February. And the feeling, I think from the commission, was that you have marriages now where they have previous children. And so it's not very hard to get, 6 unrelated people living there now.
It has nothing to do with how many rooms.
No, you cannot rent rooms separately. You can have a roommate, but you must share expenses. You can't pay somebody's mortgage, that's a rental.
What authority do you have to collect that information?
Well, a lot of times they'll say, I have roommates, I'm not renting, I don't need a rental license. And then when you get down to it, their bedrooms all have refrigerators and cooking stoves and
Locks on the door.
right, and locks on the doors and numbers on the doors.
Like that lady.
That's a rental. That's not a roommate situation. A roommate situation shares the refrigerator, shares the sofa, doesn't have cooking facilities in their bedroom. So you can have roommates, but that has to be your situation and that you share.
I got a question on the legal people. Do they get a copy of what is expected during your?
They do.
Okay.
When we schedule a rental inspection, we send them a list of commonly missed items, which I think is in here. We also send them a copy of the inspection checklist. And once it gets to 3 days before the inspection, then we resend them the checklist and we confirm, the inspection. When I came here, we had 68% failed inspections across the board, whether it was a new inspection, biennial inspection, and we're well under 50% now, somewhere around 46%, I think, in getting it to pass the first time, because we want to educate them, give them this sheet in advance, check and make sure the windows open and close, check and make sure the walkways are not blocked to get to the windows, because my inspector's going to open and close every one of them. If it doesn't stay open, it's not going to pass.
Okay, I only asked because I had a rental inspection last year.
Oh, yeah?
6 months, and I didn't get anything. And when she came, she had to come back. And I know there's no charge for the second trip, but there would be for the third or fourth. That's why I was asking if they,
What do you mean you didn't get
I didn't
anything?
get it. I just got a call from the rental inspector that she was gonna meet, I was gonna meet her there.
Ah.
And, so I knew I was gonna be all right because I had rented it before and
Uh-huh.
stopped and.
Yeah.
But I know that since you've been there, this has happened.
Well, we use,
First time I rented, there was nothing like this in the works.
yeah, we use Microsoft Bookings to do our inspections because of, it sends these reminders. It also tells us if the email addresses are bad, and then we, of course, know to call. And then it sends reminders based on what we tell it to do. Like, I think the first one says, thank you for taking the first step towards getting your rental license. So we do a lot of things like that. We've also moved to an online application system, which includes an online payment system. So the procedure's much faster than it used to be.
Yeah, I sent it.
Much easier, yeah.
Yeah.
You can renew in the same way. Renewals are going out the end of July, the 1st of. That's, you did, that's right, you did sell it.
You know, the reason this is so vitally important is because our city is probably 60% rentals.
65
There were up to
at
60
in the
now.
last census.
And that makes a city transient. It can make a city fail. If you do any research on it all, most stable cities are not, have more home ownership than rentals. And we are getting really upside down if it's up to 65 now. I mean, that's just awful. And that's why these things are so vitally important.
Of course, you gotta remember, when we moved here, there weren't dozens of apartment buildings with 800 units in it. So that, when you play numbers with games, the percentage keeps going up because there's more and more apartments.
I suppose.
We don't have a record of the original houses and how many.
I suppose, but we have an awful lot. I mean, we don't even get the big cases here. We don't get the big new 500 unit buildings.
Right, that's.
And you see how many we get, you know?
I've been trying to get a question in here for a while.
Oh.
Okay.
Well, we wanted
So,
come up with it.
okay, I'm You're funny, man. The question I have, but you brought up something interesting. I need to make a comment because I read in the cities, what's happening now is that the ownership, people going out to the outskirts of the cities. That's why you have more rentals.
Well, I mean,
That's a big thing.
I
But-
agree that people have, I mean, things have changed, but we have always been a city. I remember talking about this years and years and years ago, before COVID,
But,
before
yeah,
anything.
okay, but my question.
Okay, go ahead.
My
ask your
question was, because we had somebody make a presentation about getting the information of the owner. And they said they had the tenant file the complaint. So my question is, couldn't they ask the tenant for the information for the owner?
Well, we.
They having problems.
We do have access to the water department's accounts, and they obtain the leases from them, so we're able to look in there and see if there's a lease on file or if there's the person. Yeah, in some cases, the owner is, and we wouldn't know, but we do have access to there, and that was through Denzel. Denzel got us that access so that we can look that up and see who's got the water. In addition to, we have a couple of pretty bad landlords in town. I'm sure you guys know who they are. So they require in their leases that, and we don't dictate what they put in their leases, but they do require them to obtain water before they actually get to see the properties that they're renting. And recently, the water department called me and said, we're getting so many people that are coming back in the next day and saying this place is unlivable. So, you know, we're working hard to try and
Yeah.
get those, you know.
It's huge. It's just huge.
Yeah. Yep.
Whether it's on Beachside or Midtown, any place. Go ahead.
Do you remember we heard a case on the beach side where it was, I think Braddock, where it was a small apartment building where the tenants went and got their water from the.
Oh, yeah.
From the city park.
Yes.
And carried
Yes,
it in.
that is
buckets.
absolutely
We
true.
were told we couldn't do anything
Right.
about it for maybe 6 months. We had to fight that.
Absolutely. That's true. I remember that really well.
Wow.
All right,
Guess everybody's left.
yeah, everybody's left.
Nice seeing you again.
Well,
Nice seeing you
Thank
too.
you for coming. I'm sorry that we were so rushed today.
No, you're good.
Thank you for this.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you.
The packet's lovely. You do a good job, and I appreciate you a lot.
Thank you.
No more anonymous complaints.
No more anonymous complaints. We can't open an investigation based on an anonymous complaint. But we do get complaints throughout the city. Waste Pro will call when there's an abundance of furniture, you know, out and say, I don't see a rental license on this, or like the water department will let us know. So we do get,
Can a neighborhood make a complaint?
absolutely, but
Or a homeowners association?
but it wouldn't be anonymous. We would have.
Right.
Yeah.
But it, rather than just to single out somebody.
Yeah, you could, oh, and that happens a
Well,
lot.
Wouldn't they have to give the name, though? I mean,
No, just
If
name of
anonymous
the-
is out,
Uh-uh.
you just can't say the homeowners association.
Yeah, you can.
Because then,
No, we get the president of the homeowner
Yeah,
association.
somebody
They-
has to sign
people,
for it, but that's
right, that's what I'm
basically it. But that doesn't matter. I mean, if
well, it does if if the person feels they're being violated.
Right.
And they want to file a complaint. And they want an investigation, then somebody's got to answer the questions, right?
Right. No, you're absolutely right about that.
right, but they submit their complaints to the homeowners association,
Right.
and the homeowners association files them all
Okay.
and looks into anything that they might
the
address.
neighborhood can do that as well. We used to do that in Seabreeze. As a neighborhood, we would file
Right.
complaints, so an individual wasn't getting beaten up or, you know, for noticing something or turning somebody in. So, but this is a state issue, because, you know, we don't have any control over that. But we still are allowed to use associations and.
June, is your office open to the public?
Yes.
So somebody that's going to buy a rental unit or something wants to know what, they can get this
absolutely.
from you?
They call me all the time.
Yeah.
Good, sounds good to me.
All right.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Good to see you again.
Good to see you too.
Meeting adjourned.